Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It's time again for another Oh Yeah Trek rewatch. And we're talking today about Star Trek Lower Decks, Episode 8, Veritas. I'm John Suntress. Joining me, as always, Franco. Hello, Franco. And I screwed up time. Mitch told me he couldn't start until 8:30 Eastern. And, of course, I screwed up and scheduled this for 7:30 Eastern.
It's been a very interesting last few minutes as he's yelling at you by text, which is very funny.
It's true. It's very true. That's all right. I understand. God, and it's a shame that, again, that he's going to be late to this one because, yes, as somebody on Facebook said, let the therapy session begin. Veritas, Latin for truth, I believe.
Yes.
And truthfully, shittiest episode of Star Trek Lower Decks.
Wow.
I believe absolutely the worst.
Wow.
I wouldn't even I'd give it 0 stars.
Wow. Not even, it wouldn't even be a fart sound for you?
Lower than a fart sound. When you fart and you realize you accidentally messed yourself, kind of thing.
Oh,
That's
wow.
how
That
bad it was. Yeah.
Wow.
Defecation time. Yeah.
Wow.
No, it was stupid. It was loud. It was shrill. Way to waste a Q cameo.
Wow.
Just the worst. Okay, that was Wayne saying that the therapy can begin. Hello, Wayne. But honestly, I think it was absolutely the worst. It wasn't funny. It was, again, loud and shrill. Rutherford's visor restarting. Geez, that wasn't funny the first 3 times. And then we got it for like another 6 times or whatever. And it's just like, and again, nothing but member berries. Nothing but references to old episodes.
Wow.
Just stupid, no story, poor attempts at humor. Shit. Complete shit.
Wow.
Your thoughts? I liked it.
I love this episode.
You did not.
I did not. This sucked. It was the worst piece of shit ever.
It's like they gave up.
It was.
I mean, and there were times when I believe, and I don't want to watch it again, that Tendi and Boiler were literally just making loud noise and not even saying words in their hyperactivity. It's like, man, fuck you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to keep swearing, but seriously, it's like you're beyond an insult to my intelligence. And I'm so pleased that prior to today, I found other YouTubers that are younger than us and having the same problems with it. Literally, like this guy, James Hancock, who I love and is a big film buff, great guy. You know the animator, Bill Plimpton?
Mm-hmm.
He hooked me up with – he's worked with Bill on several movies in the past, and he got me Bill for Word Balloon. great guy, loves movies, loves classic movies and stuff. And he was so like disappointed. I think after like the second or third episode, he's like, all right, you guys win. I'm not watching Star Trek anymore until you start changing this stuff because it's not funny. It's all member berries, everything that we complain about. And he's like, you're not even trying. And again, this episode, I would say they're not even trying. So
I actually, Wayne, I liked it like a prostate exam with Knuckles. Ooh. Oh, I like it.
Yeah, it was just an entire episode.
Just old Star Trek. Yeah.
He's 100% right.
It was. And I thought there could have been so much more done with it. Like you mentioned, what's his face with the eye thingy? Rutherford. They could have done a whole episode on that because I thought that was interesting. Every time he woke up, it was a different thing, but it was stupid. Like they never went back to it. They never referred to it. They never said, "What did he do?" type thing. It was weird. It was weird. The member berries, the fan dance.
It's like, come on.
Why?
Come on. That's what I'm saying. It's like they're not even trying. It's like they got a grocery list.
Yeah, even like the cheap laughs that they went for, like, why am I standing in space? Oh, a cloaked ship. And then he kept the knocking into the something that he couldn't see. I was like, oh, come on.
Crap.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I've had poops that were more inspired by this episode. I couldn't do it. The whole thing was excellent review, John. 0 stars, worse than shit. Streaming on CBS All Access now.
Yeah, and he's not surprised. No, I hear you, Michael. And people were asking about Outer Limits earlier. Michael, one of them. Outer Limits is happening tonight, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 West Coast time, 11:30 Central. Got to do the math because my brain is so numb from this incredible pile.
And then we're doing an podcast in between there, are we not?
Yeah, yeah, which is fine, honestly. Then everyone else can talk, and I'll just kind of be numbly just. So but yeah, it was just.
And then also, when you get to the, it's just, I'm skipping all over the place because this episode was just all over the place, and it was crap. But like when they got to the end of it, I'm like, this is the same exact plot point that they had with the Ferengi. Remember when you thought he was a bad guy, and then they brought him back, and you didn't think what it was.
It's a party.
This was a whole episode of that, basically. They did the whole trial with the whole Rura Pente type thing from Undiscovered Country, and yes. I'm like, really? They couldn't come up with something else? And then when they turned it on its ear and it's a surprise party or a fun party, I'm like, oh.
I almost wonder if it started off as a Klingon episode and somebody had a note of, well, that I mean, I don't know. I really have to go back and look and see like the way, and I meant to do it, but again, I just didn't have time today to look at earlier episodes because, yeah, I mean, it was all Rura Pente trial BS. And I like all of a sudden, no, it's a different race. And it's like,
yeah, all
right, then why does their trial look like a Klingon trial? Like, could you come up with something different? No, because again, no originality on this show. Literally, and especially this episode. Absolutely no originality.
One of the people, I think it was Rutherford again, who said, this is classic, courtroom, alien courtroom 101. Like all alien courtrooms look like this. It's like, Hammers wouldn't help this episode, and I wouldn't be able to walk again.
Totally true. A lot of busted toes.
I like how this episode was so bad that Wayne refuses to put up his picture on his comments now, like they were in the past. He doesn't want to be associated with it.
I don't blame you, man. It really.
Neither do I, but I think it's funny.
Yeah, and I mean, they didn't even bother having a B story for the bridge crew. Mm-hmm. Other than them being stuck in a beam. Way too many member berries. Again, non sequitur member berries that made, again, like the fan dance. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Don't even, and also, I'm kind of on the alien side of, give me a break. You're Starstreet. You're Starfleet. You're supposed to be the best of the best. Yeah, where is that? Guilty. Guilty is charged.
Even the aliens know this.
And I'm sorry, I didn't buy Boimler's. No. We're explorers. We don't know what's going to happen. Shut up.
Yeah. They don't tell us everything. They don't tell us anything.
If we could punch cartoons. Yeah, they don't tell us anything.
Yeah, they don't tell us anything, and then at the end they're like, "All right, we're not going to tell you because you guys are annoying with your questions."
Exactly. Yeah.
I couldn't stand this.
There's 2 more of these we got to goddamn watch. 2 more.
This is all your fault.
And then
I'm glad Mitch is not here.
I know, and also you're right. And also, really, if anything, Mitch, you're getting a break, man. And then our reward for sitting on through this, Discovery Season 3. Good luck, everybody. Jesus Christ.
Maybe they'll bring over the same writers.
This was like a bad Robot Chicken spoof on an M. Night Shyamalan movie. It's a twist. What a twist.
No.
I guess. I mean, again, it really was. And now I really want to punch Mike McMahon because he had the call on Star Trek Day to go, the second half of the season is really great. Can't wait. And again, not only did they waste John Delancey as Q, Kurtwood Smith was the Inquisitor in the trial. That's not a trial. And he was the Federation president in Undiscovered Country. Yep. And of course, if anything, he should have gone back to being Red from that 70s show and call everybody dumbasses because that's what he was dealing with. Dumbasses. He
should have been the alien that he was in the Star Trek 6 and started calling everybody dumbasses. It was just so bad. Even just the little things like, I messed with the red alert, siren in here, so it'd be louder. We can hear it.
Yeah. Again.
It wasn't funny. None of it was funny.
No.
None of it was funny. She wants to clean the conference room. And then it's all boring in there. You're only cleaning cat fur off the furniture. And then she goes in there and literally cleans cat fur off the furniture. And then Marinara was like, I want to clean the conference room.
It hurt. It did. Speaking of Discovery Season 3, the new story that was on StarTrek.com, and I really want to go through this ridiculous list. They came up with Michael Burnham's most badass moments. You'll never catch her missing out on any of Discovery's action. That's the subtitle. And why is that, Franco?
Because she is the center of the universe. Everything revolves around Berman.
It's all about you, Michael, as we learned in Season 2. All right, so number 10. First they say, during the first 2 seasons of Star Trek Discovery, Michael Burnham never shies away from the action. Here are the top 10 moments where she lets her inner badass shine. Number 10, Taking Flight. This is the pilot. Michael shows us how badass she is almost immediately in the Discovery season premiere. When the Shinzu encounters an unknown object in space, she argues that it would be irresponsible to leave without donning a spacesuit and exploring it further. But when she laughs with glee while launching, you suspect that maybe her real motivation is the undeniable fact that flying around in a jetpack is really just fun. That's number 10.
Where was this list again?
StarTrek.com.
So they're trying to hype up the show?
Yeah, fake news. Fake Trek news.
Doing hype?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it's fine. It is their authorized.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's authorized. So this is authorized hype. Yeah.
Yep. It's all BS. It's all BS. Let's see. I just want to see if there's any. Hey, Matthew Clark's joining us. Our guy.
Hey.
Matthew, do you like this show? Seriously. And I love you, Matthew. And Matthew likes Discovery. I challenged him to name the bridge crew after the first season. And last time I saw him face to face at a con. And I have to say, to his credit, he named several of them. But I'm like, well, that's amazing. Because I don't know. And he even goes to, for people who don't know, Matthew Clark, a great comic book artist, millions of great stories, among them great runs on Superman. He's done a lot of great stuff with Rucka and stuff. And seriously, Matthew and I at good distraction here from the lousiness of this episode. We were at one of Tony Moore's Cincinnati Comic-Con, Cincy Comic-Con. And we're in a Korean restaurant, and the whole night we're just talking about how much we love Star Trek. And this is years before Discovery, so everything was fine. And I felt so bad because literally, after we started talking about Discovery, he's like, "Hey man, I like this show." He goes, "Seriously, you're bumming me out." I'm like, "Okay, don't worry, it's fine." So I'm assuming Kurtwood Smith was Thrax from DS9. That's my guess.
Yeah.
In terms of his reference there.
No.
All right. Matthew, I'm sorry, buddy. I don't mean to turn you away because seriously, let's do a word balloon soon. And let's just like off the air talk about Star Trek. And again, hey, I had 5 fans of Discovery try to convince me why they like it. And I'm like, I'm not trying to change your mind. Tell me why you like it. I'm just glad Star Trek's back. And I'm like, okay. Again, I'm not trying to rain on your parade. It's cool.
Again, I will go down fighting, saying I loved all of the Pike episodes. Everything with Pike, I loved it. I love that. So I hope Brave New Worlds is going to be good.
Strange New Worlds, yeah.
Strange New Worlds, yeah.
Did you didn't really love all the episodes of Picard?
No, Picard, Pike.
Oh, Pike.
Yeah, on Discovery, yeah.
Season 2.
Did I say Picard? I didn't say
no,
Picard.
I think you said Pike. You probably did. No. I'm just so beaten down from this episode. When they mentioned the cleaner, I was hoping Sean Renault would show up as this character from La Femme Nikita.
They'd be heading into the transporter room, and all of a sudden everything would get dim. And
at first, I saw him say Jean Renault, and I thought he was saying Jet Reno. What's her name's character? Tig Notaro's character.
Oh, is that her name? I can't even remember these names.
Her character's name is Jet Reno.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it Jet Reno? God only knows. It is the dumbest name. It's like when you call it's like when they make fun of poor Reb Brown on Mystery Science Theater, and they call him Chest Muscleton or whatever. Chesty Muscleton.
Speaking of Chesty Muscleton, again, a lot of those references, like when they were talking about Khan, I want to talk about that puffed up chest. Like every reference is to something that we've seen. I get it, but again, it's not funny.
Well, it's not a joke.
Funny, yeah. It's not funny.
There
was one funny line in this episode. Go ahead. You were saying you agree with
Mr. Pete here, who says, greetings. The show is horrible. Nice starships, though. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I agree.
There was one line that I found very funny, and that's Rutherford when they put up the horn of truth. You must only speak the truth. And he walks up to it and he goes, "Hi, happy to be here." That made me laugh. But that was it. One laugh in the whole thing.
Whatever.
Seriously.
That's cool. Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I wanted more. I wanted a lot more laughs.
Every week, I swear to God, every week I'm like, maybe I'll like this one. Maybe again, I liked the 3rd episode. I've liked 1 out of 8 episodes.
Same here. And it wasn't the same episode as yours.
I like that Wayne keeps Wayne, and then he gives us this thing. This episode beats Mitch's 3 Star Treks reference rule.
That's true.
Oh, every episode beats Wayne's 3 Star Trek reference rule. It does. And this one was seriously. It's like, all right, we got nothing. Can someone pull out the list of references we haven't used yet? Okay, Fan Dance, thank you. All right, Bird of Prey, thank you. Cloaked, great. Crap.
Can we end the show now?
We could potentially. No, I want to go through Michael Burnham's more kick-ass.
No, I know, but I'm just.
No, I know you are.
I think the show would be funnier than the episode.
Okay, number 9, Taming the Beast. I'm guessing it's about the tardigrade. They can blame whatever happens on my curiosity, Michael says, before attempting the badass feat of taming a mysterious beast in the exquisitely titled episode, The Butcher's Knife Cares Not for the Lamb's Cry. Even though the beast killed a crew member and has an intimidating growl, she insists the creature isn't a carnivore, opens its cage, and makes an important discovery. It prefers to eat the spores that power the ship's drive. Okay. Number 8, Escaping the Brig. I'll give him this one. I do think that was the best part of the second half of the pilot, Battle at the Binary Stars. Nobody puts Michael in a corner when the Shinzu is damaged during the Battle of the Binary Stars, which takes place during an episode of the same name. Thank you. Michael finds herself in a dangerous spot. She's trapped in the brig, having been locked up for mutiny. The computer. Did I miss? Oh, that's later because they go see number 2. Man, they're even spoiling their own top 10 list. There's that chucklehead who wrote this thing. The computer only gives her a 43% chance of survival, but she's able to propel herself through space and open the blast door to freedom naturally. She then goes on to save the ship. Yeah, naturally, because they have no other ideas, because no other crew member matters, and this is a crappy show. I gotta like literally like take a break in between numbers. Why would you like tease number 2 when you're only on number 7?
Right.
It's like keep the suspense going, schmucko. No, better not.
Well,
Hey, I love your writing.
It makes sense for Star Trek nowadays.
Honestly, man. God, did you see on here's a good tangent. Comic Book Resources today, CBR, they had a thing that Stanley Kubrick's misogyny kept him from being a great director. And it's like, God, man, like if I were an editor at CBR, I would fire this idiot in a heartbeat. It's like, are you kidding me? I didn't even read the article. The headline alone, it's like, you don't know what you're talking about. Shut up. Like Stanley Kubrick needs to justify himself to you because he's from another generation that was lousy. I mean, guess what? Lousy people, lots of lousy people were great directors. Dumbass.
Well, Kubrick's not a great director anymore.
Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's dead now.
Yeah. Well, that's true. That's very true. That is keeping him from being a good director.
Yeah. That should be the headline.
Next, we have Acting Like a Terran. So this is obviously in the Mirror Universe. Despite Yourself is usually remembered as the Discovery episode where Tilly gets a peek at her badass alter ego, Captain Killy. But Michael also gets plenty of moments to show her strength when she tells Tilly is born out of necessity for Terrans. After confidently parading her fake bounty, Captain Lorca, in front of the crew of the Shinzu, she takes control over her former ship. But first, she has to take down an assassination attempt in the turbo lift. All right. Yeah.
That sounds very convoluted.
Yes. Rescuing the Captain. We're at number 6. When Michael and 3 new crew members attempted to fly pods through an asteroid field. I remember this in season 2's premiere. Brother. One of them doesn't make it out alive. Yeah, the guy who was a jerk. Remember in the turbo lift, the alien sneezes on him? Mm-hmm. Captain Pike almost doesn't make it either, but is rescued in a daring save from Michael. For her, it's all in a day's work. She later literally runs through fire while escaping the cursed planet. Yeah, that's when they meet Jet Reno. Hey, I'm Jet Reno. How you doing? That's not a real name. No, that's my name. I'm Jet Reno. Oh, hey, look who's here, everybody. Hey, it's Mitch. Hi, Mitch. Sorry about that, Mitch. Thanks for coming early.
I was too busy watching a good space picture called The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh. Would you time travel to 19?
No.
No?
For the 40th anniversary, it's playing down the street at the IMAX theater. So I was first day, first show, like I was when I was 13.
How many people were in the theater?
About 60. I couldn't believe it. It was only $5 tickets. I was like, oh, this is nothing.
Oh. No offense, but they better be $5 tickets, man, because
Oh, dude, it was on an IMAX screen. It was glorious.
Fair.
Was it better than this episode of Lower Decks?
You know what? I was thinking about that on the way home. I watched this morning at 8:30. All I could remember was this. Kurtwood Smith from the 70s show was the voice, but he was also the president of the Federation in Star Trek VI.
Correct.
And it was called veritas, which is Latin for truth. I went to a good school, unlike you guys, and I was like, where they learn how to tell time, and behind the scenes stuff.
Or at least I can still hear things.
I said it. I promise you. Go on. Jim.
Anyway, 3 things: that veritas and. There was no point to this at the very end when they found out, oh, you only have the room for an hour. And I said, are you fucking kidding me? This is what they came up with? Look, I've been watching MASH again because I love MASH because it's probably one of the greatest greatest shows ever in TV history.
Agreed.
This is kind of like a 5 o'clock Charlie thing where the 5 o'clock Charlie, if you never watched the show, was this North Korean guy who was bombing the base.
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't know what to expect and stuff. And then he came back later on.
They would always take bets on where he would.
They were taking bets on, yeah. And later on in the second season, they had to take all the nurses out of there because there was an attack that was coming. And the army warned them that the North Koreans were going to have an air raid. And at the very end, like the last 2 minutes of the show, the button of the show, they go, "Oh, it's just 5 o'clock, Charlie. Everything's okay." And the show, and it just everything went back to normal. That's what this was like. It's like the show happened, and at the last minute, they were like, "It's okay. It's just a party, and they're not really being held prisoner. And I only had it for 1 hour, so everything's good. We'll see you next week." I go, "What the fuck kind of ending was that? This is bullshit, honestly." Oh, and the other third thing I found out, Dennis Quaid's son.
The other third thing going
is Jack Quaid. I'm like Yogi Berra. Is Bomber is the voice of whatever Blomer or whatever.
Yeah, Bomber, Boimler.
So
Blomer. I think that's our new name for him. Blomer. That's great. I love it.
I was like, wow, his dad is Dennis Quaid, really? And then he's on The Boys,
right?
Which he's good in The Boys, and I'm like,
he's
holy crap!
Yes.
So 2 out of 3 things going for him. His dad's Dennis Quaid, who's a good actor. He's on The Boys, and then the third. Well, fuck it. He's on this show.
This isn't his fault. He's not writing the thing.
No, but he started screaming today during his delivery. And I was like, dude, your dad should watch the show and sit you down and say, "You don't deliver your dialogue like this. Oh my God. Oh, they're going to get you." I was like, what? Why are you screaming? Just stop. Anyway, that's it.
You caught us mid-list. StarTrek.com has Michael Burnham's top 10 most badass moments.
And she's a badass.
Well, yeah, she's a real badass. Seriously, this list is just ridiculous. But no, I agree. Wayne pointed out that they went over your limit of 3 member berry references. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I would argue that every episode has more than 3 member berries. I really do. I think so. But this was over the top.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, it was a waste of a cue. It was waste of a cue. What did you think of the fan dance, Mitch?
Yeah,
I thought of you. I think because Frank, we talked about that once before with her doing the fan dance. I go, they were going for every trick in the Star Trek bag. They're like, we're going to start off with the Klingon jury thing with the banging of the thing. Okay, there's that reference. There's the fan dance. There's they mentioned Q. Who? I was like, oh my God, Q is on this episode. And I'm thinking, I didn't look at the credits. Was that John Delancey's voice? It didn't sound like him. I'm like,
it was absolutely. Yeah. I'm sorry. They made a big deal about him coming back.
But that was it?
Cameo. Well, they're like, hey, good news, Q's back. And Geordie's daughter was moderating. She's like, oh my God. And he's like, well, it's a cameo.
Yeah.
The episode's not really about him. But John Delancey has a couple nice moments. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Nice. And it got me more angry when I did see that was all they were going to use him for. I'm like, that was it. That's like Mark Hamill, speaking of Star Wars, at the end of Force Awakens. Like, that's it. I waited all this time, and he was there for 2 seconds, and that was all you used him for? Fuck you and the horse you rode in on, asshole. And I defended this piece of shit last week, and I was like, oh, let's give them a second chance. They seem to have their heart in the right place, and they're really trying. After today, I'm like, look, if it wasn't for you, Suntress, I fucking wouldn't watch this shit for all the tea in China.
I just told him before he came on that it was all his fault we're watching this.
It's true. And also, that's funny. Wayne says it sounded like John Delancey just phoned it in for the paycheck. Maybe.
At least he's getting paid to watch this.
And we got
he doesn't even have to watch it.
Well, like I said, Mitch, we have 2 more we have to sit through, and our reward for sitting through these are season 3 of Discovery.
I'm sorry, man. No, I saw a commercial that said October 15th, the Discovery comes back. So you didn't know the date?
No. But the fact that you said a commercial, second week in a row in Chicago, no ads.
Oh no, I had too many ads today, like double the number.
None, and that really surprised me. So I don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, they're national ads. It doesn't make sense to me, but
yeah, they're for AT&T and they're for
Petco, all that shit.
Yeah, Petco.
I'm glad the commercials are in there because at least I have something to look forward to.
Yeah, well, exactly. Or to at least get a moment away from the headache.
I like that Melania on the AT&T commercials. She's something else.
I can't tell you like how disappointed I am. I want to like this show every week that I tune in, but it's just so bad. It's bad.
I was telling Franco, a buddy of mine, another YouTuber, James Hancock, who is younger than us, it was so disgusted after only a couple episodes. Like, okay, CBS, he's got a southern accent. He's like, you win. I'm not watching Star Trek anymore because new Star Trek sucks, and you guys don't know what you're doing. And he was like, this show is nothing but references to old stuff. It's not funny. It's not interesting. And I'm like, good for you, James. So
you know what? Listen, I saw young people coming out of The Empire Strikes Back tonight. Nothing to do with Star Wars, but I heard people saying, "Oh, now little kids. Now do you understand where the Mandalorian comes from? Because Boba Fett's in Empire." And they're like, "Oh, do you understand it more? And this is Yoda, and then you got Baby Yoda." So they're using a 40-year-old movie and the Mandalorian to get a new audience of fans to be sucked into this universe. And I thought about that. I said, what if Star Trek Lower Decks was your entry point into Star Trek? Like you had no knowledge of the show, Next Gen.
That's what it's supposed to be.
But no, I will give $1 million if I had $1 million to the person who only watched this and never saw Star Trek and said, "Oh, I want to go learn more now. I want to go watch all those other shows and those movies and the cartoons."
I agree with you. I wouldn't want to do that.
Never would happen. It would never happen because these people are so fucking annoying on this show. I tried. I really tried, and it just pissed me off to no end today. Now, the fact that I wasted a half hour for some bullshit ending, and I couldn't even remember what happened in the story 5 hours after I watched it, and I'm coming home to talk about this. I go, what happened to it? Oh, yeah, the trial. What was that? I mean, did he walk in a room? Okay. Larry Gelbart and Gene Reynolds from Match. They wrote the episode about the incubator. Again, I'm going to talk about this. In one night, they had to write the episode where Hawkeye and Trapper need to do all these things to get the MASH unit, an incubator that they need for the hospital.
Yeah.
One night. That's called genius comedy writing. That show's got thousands of jokes. I don't even know how long this episode took, and if it took them more than 3 hours, they should all be fired, and they deserve to give the jobs to somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing when it comes to comedy. And I'm sorry I'm swearing so much because I just drove 80 miles an hour to get home. But it show's not worth our time. We could talk about something good. All three of us. We're educated people.
We are. We're talking about the top 10 Michael Burnham moments to show that she's a badass.
She's a badass. By the way, Stephen Ernst points out, and I totally forgot, tonight is when they start airing the first season on broadcast CBS at 10 Eastern and Pacific, 9 Central.
Good. I wanna make sure I don't watch it there either.
So that's fine. And once again, they're only showing part 1 tonight. They're not. Which again, it's like you really should. Yeah, it's like when you show the whole thing.
Well, how many episodes are in their season? 10, right? Or 13?
No, there was
12, I think.
No, it was even more. It was 15 for the first season, yeah. Because and last season was 14. And that was my point of 29 hours of Discovery. I still don't know the name of most of the bridge crew. I don't know anybody on the bridge crew other than Saru and Pike and Burnham. I don't know anybody else on the bridge crew. I don't know.
Yeah, there's the redhead girl.
Yeah.
Did she have the eyepiece?
No, the other redhead girl.
Oh, Tilly.
Yeah,
you're right.
Tilly.
I forgot about Tilly. Yeah.
Okay.
But then there's eyepiece girl.
But I like how we had to describe her. We had to describe the big-haired, red-headed girl to be one of the crew members, and then you had to remember her name because none of us could remember it.
Right, and then Asian guy, and on the bridge crew, there's an Asian guy. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see that. I saw the robot woman with the thing in the back of her head.
It's all about you, Michael, and I'm going to die.
All right.
I'm going to die, and then we're going to have a 10-minute funeral that's longer than Mr. Spock's funeral in Wrath of God.
Why are they only showing one? They're not showing the whole season. They're only showing one episode.
Oh, no. They're showing the whole season.
Oh, okay.
But they're only showing the first episode with the cliffhanger rather than
you got to tune in next
the
week.
full pilot. Yeah,
or if CBS is betting you watch the first episode on regular and then you pay to see the second episode on Alexis.
That's what they did last time. But no, and again, I think the pilot is actually pretty good. I think it's all right. I mean, I didn't love it, and there were a lot of things that drove me nuts about it. But on balance, I'm like, no, at least it was entertaining.
I think I would have more respect for both shows if like Boimler was on Discovery as a cameo in the first episode.
And as I said, Mitch, earlier, there are parts in the episode where Boimler and Tendi are like not only yelling, but yelling not like not even words. They're just making noise.
I know. I watched it, and I thought it would have been good because the character who I do like, Rutherford, because I think in New Jersey, had the thing going on with his head. And I'm like, oh, look, we just talked about that implant he's got with the Vulcan stuff. Oh, maybe they'll go into something. And they threw that away.
Yeah, right. We talked about that. The whole episode could have been about that. Would have been much more interesting.
You know why? Because I'm thinking when his thing reprogrammed and restarted, I said, oh, my God, it's going to be like RoboCop. That's why they got Kurtwood Smith in there, because he was the bad guy in RoboCop. And maybe he's going to go on this, like, don't deprive the fifth directive or whatever it was in RoboCop. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be like the Manchurian Candidate. I wrote a better story in my fucking head in 2 minutes based on the guest star and the blip in his binder. It sucks.
Mitch, you got to calm down. Your wife is going to yell at you for yelling, for swearing so much.
The dog barks like a maniac when I'm down here. My wife goes, what is going on down there with Franco and John? I go, I don't know. Oh.
She's going to know how bad this episode was with the amount of swearing.
I told her that. She goes, why do you watch?
Screaming.
She goes, why do you guys watch if you hate it so much? I go, because we're sick in the head.
Commitment. And again, 2 more left. Just 2 more. And then,
It's renewed for a second season, by the way. I saw it on IMDb because I looked it up to see if there were some other things to talk about.
Yeah, sure, other news.
And they said 26 episodes. And I was like, where's their 26 episodes? Oh, God, no.
Most animated shows, though, are made at like 26 episode clumps. So that doesn't surprise me. Knowing the behind-the-scenes animation people that I've known over the years, that's kind of the MO for a lot of animation. And especially animation that's backed by big companies. So... what can I tell you?
Did you
still crap?
Did you guys rate it? I mean,
I gave it 0. I gave it a 0.
I liked it. I liked
what?
it.
No, you did not. Do I have to go watch the replay? Did he really like it? Are you screwing with me?
He's screwing with us. He's fucking.
Did you give it a fart?
I told him it was worse than a fart. I said
it was. He defecated in his pants.
You messed your pants. Exactly.
Diarrhea.
God. I rated it diarrhea. Oh my God!
If they had 30 episodes and they had to crank out this one just because they got to get an order of 30, fine. But you're only on episode 8 now? 7? Is that?
Yeah, this was 8. This was 8.
And you run out of ideas that fast? Really? And you've got all this stuff to choose from. You've got a galaxy of different characters and setups, and this is the best you could do. A mistake over a trial. Whatever.
You're lucky, Langley, that you're just joining us. No, it was complete shit.
Yeah.
26 episodes, the magic number for animation. Yes, agreed.
Wow.
I actually like the show. I think it's a C at worst and a B+ at best, but the Boimler characterization is difficult. Well, you, sir, are charitable. I don't know.
Who is that Facebook user? It's probably just Negan bothering us again, Mike Negan.
Oh, this is interesting. Mario says that Mark Bernard's work on Picard Season 2 is already over. No, I didn't see that. That's interesting. I don't know if they means that they just locked down the episodes and whenever production starts up again, they're going to be ready to go, which might be the case. That might be the case.
He's a writer. I mean, he could have been writing all during COVID lockdown. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That they just lock down the scripts and then whenever they feel that they can start, they're going to start. I mean, God... Again, I wish no ill to Patrick Stewart, and I love his Uber Eats commercial with Mark Hamill. But the clock is running for poor Patrick Stewart.
It's running for all of us, John.
Well, yes, but again, he's a little closer to the end of the the hourglass, the sour glass.
It's running faster whenever I watch this show too.
He's a robot now. He doesn't have to
That's
die
right.
anymore. He's a
That's
droid.
right.
Every time I watch an episode of Lower Decks, I'm a little closer to death.
I've said that before. I've said that all entertainment is a distraction from the other. Thank you, Mr. P Channel. This was the worst episode.
Yeah, I agree. Mr. Pete, please tell me what city you're in that you had no ads as well. Langley, I don't know if you had ads. Nice says, I'm now looking forward to seeing this thing.
I like that. I like that Johnny hated
literally killed. God bless you, Langley. Go on.
Johnny hated this episode so much that he's literally asking where the commercials aired nationally.
And how come I don't live there? Yes, because it was painful. Here we go. Mario says that Bernardin posted it on his Instagram saying his work was done, but it wasn't a bad thing. Well, again, Mario, that's oblique, and I would say that it could just be that they locked down the scripts and that he's done. That's all. Mm-hmm. It could be that simple. And there's also a lot of shows. There's writer turnover. I know I have friends that wrote for the Nickelodeon show that didn't get picked up for its next season, and that's already been guaranteed. I mean, that hasn't even been aired yet, and they're talking about a second season for Star Trek Prodigy.
No. So anyway, John, did you talk about other Star Trek news about the movies not being done, which I think is a bigger story?
Well, sadly, Mitch, the further development of that is Paramount is refuting the story.
You know what, though? I think there's really some truth to that because I don't believe that they're going to spend any more money on these big budget Star Trek movies. They haven't been doing well. But 1, 2, and 3, right?
No, actually, you're 100% right. And it's, first of all, the source was Giant Freaking Robot.
Yeah.
And then apparently they got some other rumor that they broke correctly before, but whatever. And it doesn't cost the stage of development where the Noah Hawley movie is and whatever the Quentin Tarantino project is. Mm-hmm. It's all still so early in the process that to say they're canceled, it's like they haven't even been greenlit yet. Yeah. They're still in development where they're still looking for stories. So I don't think we'll see. We'll see either way.
Well,
the rumor is that Paramount is going to be doing a live-action Lower Decks movie with Jerry Seinfeld as Boimler.
No, but I started thinking about it. I go, maybe Star Trek isn't meant for the big screen? I know we had big screen Star Trek movies with the old cast and next gen, but maybe it's meant to be an episodic television show, and that's it. I mean, not everything has to be a blockbuster Star Wars epic movie. Stay on TV. That's where your sweet spot is, your wheelhouse, and write good stories. They can't even get the show right. Why would they spend all that money for a 2-hour movie if you can't get a 25-minute cartoon right every week?
Well, I point out that the old regime was able to make good movies and also make them economically. I mean, that was the whole point of Harv Bennett coming in with the original cast movies and having a television background, but understanding and going, listen, I know how to do this, and I know how to do it cheaper and still make money from these movies. And that's what they did with the JJ films and with these television shows. Paramount and CBS opened the checkbook, and I'm sorry, money was spent irresponsibly. And also not understanding from the television standpoint that they got rid of everything from the old regimes. I mean, literally the warp core in everything from Next Generation to Voyager was that same warp core from the 1979 movie.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They constantly reused everything. Sets, costumes, other things, and repurposed them. And unfortunately, they didn't, Les Moonves, Chucklehead, who used to be in charge of CBS, didn't realize that, no, you're starting everything from scratch. And if you're doing that, that costs a lot of money. And again, where they could have likely, I have no idea. I mean, again, they auctioned everything off when
I remember that
ended. They literally auctioned everything off.
Yeah, all the models and stuff. I remember a guy buying the Deep Space Nine and the Reliant and some restaurant in England. I think he was decorating it. I don't know what he did.
That's funny.
But yeah, this is just painful. Do you think there's going to be a season finale where they leave it like best of both worlds, and we'll have to tune in next year?
Oh God, if they end on a cliffhanger, that's gonna be the biggest fu.
Oh, by the way, did you know Bomber and Marinara were the helmsmen? That's an important job, and they were on the helmsman of like the Alpha crew.
I want to bring that up too. Like,
when did that happen?
Yeah, and when does the captain go to an ensign for
advice?
For advice, yeah. Like, tell me what you would do. She's got her right hand man. See, but that's even if you're going for comedy, something like that is so out of the realm of regular Star Trek. Why would you do that? Even in a comedy, wouldn't you stick to the Bible guidelines or so, the chain of command? Even I don't know.
I thought it was going to be like a dream episode. That's where I really thought we were going with this. Like, oh, he's dreaming that he's at the helm during a red alert because he's not that quality of person to be doing that job. I thought he was a lowlife or something.
They're all Starfleet. They're all the best of the universe.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. Yeah, that's what really pissed me off. Much like last week, where it's like, actually, I agree with the people that disagree with the regular crew in terms of you're Starfleet. You're supposed to be the best of the best. It's like, yeah, you people suck. If you're from Starfleet, we don't believe it because you all suck as badly as you do.
By the way, what was going on when the Jerry O'Connell character was talking to her and they were bleeping stuff out, but they weren't curse words? Unless I'm missing something, were they like taking out top secret?
Well, yeah, they were taking out top secret stuff. That's why all the crew members had that black bar in front of their face,
right.
Which again was a funny premise. But that whole thing wasn't funny. But like when they came in, she goes, I'm gonna have to leave some things out, and they came in with black bars just on their eyes. I thought that was kind of like almost humorous. And I told Johnny before, the one funny line was when Rutherford, they put up the horn of truth, and it said, "You can only speak the truth." And he goes, "Hi, happy to be here." That line made me laugh, but that's it. I didn't laugh once throughout the rest of the episode.
I got hung up on those black bars. Like, is this going to end now? This joke? I mean, and it just kept going. I'm like,
yeah, because it was classified.
Oh, and also it could have been funny with Rutherford's interface rebooting, but I felt like they went to the well too many times and didn't have anything funny.
Right, even that Klingon thing. You did the Klingon, the Vulcan next, and talk about the Bajoran. He's Bajoran, right? The security guy. Yeah, right. He's Bajoran. Talk about being like racist. He goes, you took out Spock and the other Spock.
I caught that too. I was like, don't they know any other Vulcans? And he's referring to Spock, who's been an ambassador. Oh, I took out Nixon and Nixon. I'm like, wait, what? Why would you say that? I mean, I caught that. I'm like, what the hell?
Crap. Here we go.
Nobody's happy.
Makes no sense for the lower deck ensigns to be assigned to the bridge. You don't have the sanitation crew running your navigational weapons systems. You're right.
You do on this one.
I saw the IMDb rating for the show was a 6.0. I'm like, wow, that's generous.
Again, it's so funny. I don't believe in conspiracies, but I do kind of believe that there's just this contingent of CBS people that flood social media with propaganda and stuff. Well, again, right on StarTrek.com, you got the top 10 ways Burnham kicked ass, and it's just like, what? By the way, number 5, fighting like a Klingon.
Langley is right. Lower decks, funny premise, terrible execution, time and time again. He's right.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree. I assumed fighting like a Klingon referred to the pilot, but no, it's from Into the Forest I Go. It's pretty badass when Michael sneaks onto a Klingon ship and saves an admiral. It's even more badass when she makes it all the way to the bridge and challenges the captain to a fight. When she picks up the bat lift and challenges, we think we've seen her at her most badass. But the real moment comes when Michael reaches peak badass in this episode shortly after. She's kicked in the stomach and rolls across the floor as the Klingons laugh, but then she gets up. The camera tightens on her face like a boxer. She tilts her neck and shakes it off before going in one last time. The fight ends when she jumps off an overhang and is transported back to the Discovery in midair.
Badass.
But is she a badass though? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either.
How many times did they write badass in that one?
Yeah.
5?
Let's give this idiot some credit for writing this incredible list. That'd be Jennifer Bowdenot. Okay, yeah, whatever. You're amazing. You have an incredible taste. I'm not coming to any of your parties in the future.
Wow.
Bargaining with her life. What's past is prologue. Michael and the crew are trapped in the mirror universe under the control of Captain Lorca, who has an evil respect for the extreme level of badassery even non-Terran Michael possesses, so she makes a deal with him, her life for the life of the entire crew. Or so it would seem. Instead, she ends up flipping Lorca over her head during a hand-to-hand duel. She then jumps in front of oncoming fire in order to grab the Terran Giorgio and transport her home to safety. Because we need to save Mirror Hitler. Please. Absolutely. Badass.
Did you like the mirror reference in Lower Decks for a second when she walked on the ship and they had the beards?
Yeah, I saw that.
That was the other humorous thing. I knew
was-
there was another humorous thing that I couldn't find out when she was on the wrong ship.
Yeah.
And everybody didn't know. Why am I walking by and nobody in the crew knows who I am? And then, are you on the right ship? That was funny to me. Two things. I stand corrected.
I guess.
I was hoping the dog would come back, but that dog left the show. The dog was smart. It left.
Exactly.
I'm a misfit. I'm out of here. Boom.
Oh, man. Oh, that's hilarious. Mario says my new job should be reading Star Trek porn. There is, of course, a lot of slash fiction of Kirk and Spock. That's the original slash fiction for the shippers, as they call them, which cracks me up.
Shippers.
Oh, is that what that means?
Yeah, that's what the shippers are. Yep.
Oh, I heard that talk about Diane and Sam and Hawkeye and Hot Lips. Some guy kept saying shippers. I go, what does that mean? Like relationship? They like make up their own relationship? I didn't know what that term was.
Fan fiction. Yeah, fan porn fiction. Exactly.
Oh, okay.
With Buffy and Willow get down. Buffy porn.
Oh, it's got to be a gay relationship?
Well, the ones I heard here, seriously, this episode is so bad. Let's get into Urban Dictionary time. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, Kirk and Spock, and then Willow and Buffy, and then Sam and Diane. Those are all gay relationships.
And Hot Lips and Hawkeye. Yeah, I could see that.
All right,
it would be like Han and Luke, I guess.
I gotta send Skokie Spidey the link for for him to join us, because we can slip right into and you can join us, Mitch.
What's happening?
We're gonna do an immediately following this.
Well, it's not about Star Trek, is it? Because my blood pressure only takes so much.
No, we're going to talk about this whole episode again.
I feel like what is it? George's dad, Ben Stiller's dad.
Serenity Now.
Jerry Stiller. Yeah, Jerry Stiller.
Yeah, when I'm on, I just start screaming like a freaking nutcase over this shit. Oh,
there he is.
I love it.
What show has ever gotten you so angry? I can't believe I've watched all the Star Wars.
This is the one.
The Star Wars Holiday Special. If there's anything I should have been screaming about 45 years ago, whatever, it should have been that. I've let that go. This is a constant challenge every week to how bad they could be. And I rise to it.
It's just bad.
It's beyond
bad.
I was going to look up the Urban Dictionary definition of shipping.
Oh, why?
I just want a clarification because it's better than talking about this one.
I got it. If Art and Franco had to write a Star Trek Lower Decks comic, if they got commissioned by CBS Paramount or whoever it is, what would you write about with these four characters? And you had to come up with at least one issue, like little Lower Decks.
Okay, shipping it doesn't have to be a gay relationship. It is fan fictions that take previously created characters and put them as a pair. It usually refers to romantic relationships, but it can also refer to platonic ones as well. Just think of shipping as relationship. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There you go.
Franco,
I was telling Johnny before that one of the things I thought was really, really cool was Rutherford kind of blinking out. Like that could have been the story for the whole episode. That would have been a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
But still, comedy-wise, I would make it come from the characters. I wouldn't be pulling up the fan dance stuff. Like that to me is just like just lip service to the fans. It's just, and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't. It's not funny. Like, I don't know. I'd need some time, but I could definitely do a better job.
Was Q funny or annoying or just?
Annoying.
I thought it was wasted. I got more.
It was.
You wasted his appearance, and the fact that they show that he's on other ships, like turning them into chess pieces, kind of ruins it because I always thought of Q on just the Enterprise. I didn't think he was bothering all the other ships, so I didn't like that.
Mike, you've joined us in mid rant of Star Trek Lower Decks.
Oh, about how much you guys love it?
Yeah.
Oh, Justin Timberlake's on the show now.
So good, man. Wow.
Are we doing all now or
we can literally I think so. Here we can even play the open.
Do it.
Just blurs into the mix.
Let me get the open here. Where the hell is it?
Gotta have the open.
I know I'm looking for it, man.
We need an open.
The open will be on right after this. Well, hello there.
Oh yeah.
Hello there.
Oh yeah, comics. Oh yeah, podcast. I'm putting it out on the social media.
Transition. Let me see if the let's see. Oh, good. Michael, I will get to your comment in a second.
I like it.
Let's see. Some final Trek conversation here. The Rick and Morty comics have the feel of the show and are good. I agree with you. Absolutely. Sycophantic praise of every show, every episode, and every character, as if modern Trek is the second coming of narrative perfection from Jesus on high. I hate it all. Couldn't agree more. Langley also says both extremes making it possible to get legitimate critical input on modern Trek. Take it seriously. Yeah, they are militant about taking down a lot of negative Star Trek YouTubers. CBS All Access, which I find.
Oh man, are they going to take us down?
I was going to say, did they see this show?
We're not big enough. No, we're not big enough.
Good for that.
And then, Michael. You're the second person that has told me that Raised by Wolves on HBO Max is amazing. If you want heavier sci-fi, you might want to give it a try. That's what I keep hearing as well.
It is a good show.
Yeah. So and Langley is excited that we're going into So that's lovely. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome to the Oh Yeah podcast.
Already in progress.
We are here. Is it on I Like Pink right now? Or
Oh
yeah. No, it's been 5-6 weeks since we last talked, or a couple of minutes. I can't.
It's been like 3 weeks or something like that. I think it's like 3 weeks because Mitch was on the last one and he told the Harrison Ford story.
Oh,
yeah. I'm still telling it actually.
Yes, I'm aware. We're aware.
Wow, that is realistic.
Isn't it nice? Yeah, I was just playing with my Salacious Crumb. That's all.
Interesting.
It calms me down.
I also like what you're wearing there, Mitch. What is that? Is that a long sleeve?
No, it's my Marvel 80th anniversary, but I'm getting blue screened out. I went to go see The Empire Strikes Back tonight at the movie theater, so I'm all Star Wars up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, big screen. It was great. Not like that Star Trek crap that John makes me watch. So, anyway.
Everyone is raving about Raised by Wolves, and Wayne wants Franco to talk to us about Fox and Evil.
Yeah, Fox and Evil number 2. I'm doing 10 pages at a time for a comic, like in between all the other stuff. So that means I'm averaging an issue every 9 months, I think, is when I'm getting to it. I'm doing pages here and there in between other things, and I'm putting 10 pages up at a time on Comixology. So issue number 2 on Comixology right now for 99 cents. Yay!
Yay!
And someone wrote to me and asked me before if there will be a collected edition, and I guesstimate it to be in about maybe 9 years. when I have enough issues put together. But yeah. Oh, and Scoot and I are working on something else, which we should have up within the next year or so. Depending on
do you need more pandemics to happen for you to get more work done? Is that what's going on?
I was very prolific during the pandemic. I wrote a lot of stuff and I drew a whole bunch of other stuff, but yeah, now with school happening, that just like kind of slowed me right down. So
I understand. Totally understand.
Yeah, school has been like exhausting. Not to bring everybody down, but I'm just tired every day. So
I thought you would have graduated by now. I mean, you must be the biggest kid in the class.
Yep. A couple more years, I'll be done, I think. So yeah.
I have a friend who's a history teacher, high school history teacher, and
Fake
he was
news!
telling me. Well, he's telling me it's been more work doing this remote teaching than in person.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I use this app because half my kids aren't even in the classroom. They're home, and then the other half are. It's like a weird thing, but because of that, I'm using this thing where the students and I have an ability to directly text each other, or I could text the whole class. But we don't have our phone numbers. But I found that at the end of last year, it was the best way for them to get me work digitally, so I can draw on it. I can download the picture, I could draw on it and send it back and say, no, you did this wrong or this or whatever. So they have no concept of time. So like at 12 midnight, I'll be getting text from, not that I answer them at 12 midnight, but I get text from kids at like midnight, 2 a.m, and I'll answer them when I get up or whatever. But I was just getting a whole bunch now during the last show that we were doing. So it's weird, and it is a lot more work.
Langley wants to know the name of your comic again. Which
it's called Fox and Evil. Fox and Evil. It's on Comixology. There's 2 issues up right now. Yeah.
There you go, man. 99 cents each. Fox and Evil.
Thank you.
Hey, Franco, does this mean there's never going to be any more snow days because of this whole Zoom stuff? The kids will never have to miss school?
I don't know if that's official, but yeah, in New York City, actually, it is. They actually announced in New York City that there will be no snow days because of the
Ever. Really?
Ever.
Really? Ever?
I don't know. know.
Oh, man.
No, actually, Johnny, that's a fair question for New York City. Yeah, it is.
Well, okay, because all right, explain how it's like.
Because New York City is very notorious for not calling snow days to begin with, and now with distance learning and you not having.
I understand during the current status quo, that's not going to be forever. There will be a blizzard, and they will cancel a day of school or whatever. It'll happen.
But again, they might not, because if teachers are working from home and students are working from home, and there's a blizzard,
that's not forever.
There's no God.
Forever.
Well, Johnny, it could be if there was a blizzard and then it killed everybody. Then it's forever. Yes.
All right. Thank you. All right. You're right. I'm sorry. You're absolutely right.
Thank you. I want my apology written.
You mean never? You were Ed Norton for a second there, Mitch.
It's right behind my
die. You mean never?
Never. No more snow days. That's bullshit.
I don't think it's true. I really don't think it's true.
Franco,
yes. Wayne is correct, and I'm glad you brought it up, Wayne. Franco, I loved your tutorial on DC Fandom 2.
Oh, thank you.
Who knew you could break it down to a circle, triangle, square? Well, and I know that's Franco's teaching method.
It is. Thank you. I got yelled at by DC too.
Why?
Because they sent me. No, it's a funny thing. Not really yelled at, but they sent me a whole camera setup to do that stuff.
Right.
And I had kind of quite a bit of trouble with it. So then I wound up doing it on my own phone. And I said, you want me to just send this thing back? Like, because, they sent me this camera equipment, lights and everything. And I couldn't get any of it to work. And they were on the phone with me for hours. And they were really nice. But they couldn't help me. But, I had this thing delivered to my house. And when it was delivered, my wife is like, what did you order? And I'm like, I didn't. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Langley. I didn't order anything. She goes, why is this big box here? What did you order? I'm like, again, honey, I didn't order anything. So I open the box and it's a big case. She goes, well, it's Pelican. Why did you order Pelicans? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And it was a Pelican case with all camera equipment and lights and all this other stuff in it.
Oh.
So then I filmed the thing and I said, do you want me to send this thing back? Because I had prepaid for the postage and everything. and they said, no, hold on to it because people have been having trouble, and in case we need you to redo anything, hold on to all the equipment because I did use a microphone and all that other stuff. So then that whole thing happened where they, got rid of all of editorial or 25% of editorial, and then nobody ever contacted me about the camera case until the other day when this lady who I've never had any contact with at all, out of the blue goes, "Hey, are you returning that case with all the camera stuff?" I'm like, "Well, I was holding on to it because, She goes, "Well, if you could send it back, that'd be great." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I did, but I was holding on to it. So what do you want me to do? I listened to directions, unlike most people, Mitch.
I'm not saying anything.
Wayne says he found he didn't have enough time to watch everything he wanted to on Fandom 2. Isn't it all still posted? It was a few days afterwards.
I think it was only up for 24 hours. I think that was the whole thing.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
that's stupid. If that was
I didn't see it. I was like, oh, I'll go watch this afterwards. I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna look and I'm gonna take a look and see if it is still up there anywhere. And then Langley has non sequitur. If film scripts for stuff 2 to 3 years from now aren't immaculate and well written, thanks to writers having all their quarantine time to write and polish, they should be ashamed of themselves. All right.
I don't know.
That means Lower Decks 3 years from now is going to be fucking great.
That's what I was just going to say.
Do you swear on this show? I don't know. What show?
No, that was just the last show. You're not allowed to swear on the
Oh, all right. I don't know what's going on.
And I posted the link on my own timeline on Facebook, and Haas says, oh yeah, podcast. So there.
Oh, yeah, Haas.
Yeah.
Wow, it does look like they did take that stuff down. Thank you for exploring the multiverse with us. That's really stupid.
That is, Francis. Yeah. Because when was that? Last week or 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And then originally all the programming that you saw was supposed to be only on one day, and then they expanded it out to 2 days afterwards. So I was told to help promote for the first one, and I did. And then the day before, or 2 days before, they told us, stop promoting your stuff. You can promote DC Fandom, but stop promoting your specific thing because it's not going to be up there. It'll be, a few weeks later.
Wow.
Did they not have enough server space? Did AT&T cut down on some of the spending on their servers or something?
I think they realized they had so much stuff. And there was a lot of anticipation for it because, from what I understand, they did really well with viewership on the DC Fandom. So they I don't know if they pushed the comic stuff out to the second day or something like that, or whatever they wound up doing. But I know a lot of movie stuff came out that first day.
Oh yeah, no, the first day I think was a success.
Yeah.
I don't believe the second one was.
Oh, thanks, Johnny. I was
sorry, but no, it's not your fault, man. It wasn't a question of the content. The content was amazing. It's just it's so weird. Okay, that's day one. Now come back in 3 weeks. It's like, well, how about the next day?
You know what?
Next week.
You know that DC Universe app they had? This would be the kind of cool stuff that they should put on, or if they still have the app. You can only get the episodes if you subscribe to the DC Universe app, and then you could download Franco stuff and all that. See, that's what I would have done, but who the hell am I?
It's not like you run a show or anything.
No, it's not like I've been doing marketing for 30 years now. What do I know? I suck.
There you go. The Richard, a fine man who has been coming and enjoying my content and also is a moderator for Rob Burnett's YouTube channel, says he believes it was only for 48 hours. You know what I watched over there was the latest Superman animated film, Man of Tomorrow. It was great. It kind of rebooted the Byrne Man of Steel story. The original miniseries in a lot of ways, because it was definitely Superman year one, and Clark is an intern at the planet and trying to break in as a reporter. Lois was also hired as an intern, but has an earlier scoop that elevates her to reporter status right away. And Clark is literally like, hey, kid, get us more coffee and stuff. But it involved the Parasite, and it involved Martian Manhunter.
Cool.
And it was very good, and it's before he had his uniform, so it's very interesting. I thought it was really well done. It was a cool movie.
So it has no tie-ins to all the other DC Universe movies. Nothing at all.
It doesn't. No, it's a brand because that previous one, James Tucker's last movie, and right now the title is escaping me.
The Apocalypse War thing.
Yeah, that's right. Something like that.
Right.
And at the end of that, no, they it's kind of left open on purpose to possibly a reboot coming or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And I forget, James Tucker we had a great conversation about his entire 13-year run being, the executive producer of all those movies, or 13 movies. Maybe it wasn't 13 years. But yeah, it was really interesting. And so new regime, wipe the slate clean, and moving forward with these movies, which I think is great.
Guys, I watched that Batman 66.
What?
I watched that Batman 66 versus Two-Face movie. I enjoyed it.
With Shatner.
Yeah.
Well, Shatner played
I
Two-Face.
still have to watch that, yeah.
It was enjoyable. They did a really good job of matching the feel of the show, but bringing a new story to it. I really liked it.
Yeah, it's funny. No, both of those movies were funny.
How do you guys feel?
Performances.
How do you guys feel about the DC Universe folding? Even though we all knew that was going to happen, the DC Universe channel.
I canceled my subscription a month before they announced it because I wasn't using it anymore. I was like, "There's no need for this," and now they just made it all digital comics. I'm like, I have less use for it now.
I think I know that earlier this week I was still able to watch Stargirl on it. I don't think it's fully becoming comics only until the end of the year.
Right. Yeah.
So I think whatever, but I mean, and I'm still gonna. I mean, I don't know. I don't think everything has ported over yet to HBO Max. I know it will.
It has, and all the cartoons aren't on there. All the TV shows, and none of that's on. Only the animated movies and the DC feature movies like Wonder Woman and Batman. All that's on HBO now.
Yeah.
None of the cartoons. None of that. I was like, oh
no. And I hope that they also bring over the crazy kitschy stuff from the 70s and 80s, like the superhero roast and Challenge of the Superheroes and all those things. And the Sam Jones Spirit movie.
Yeah, I watched that. Yeah.
Superior to the Frank Miller Spirit movie, frankly.
Oh yeah. Nana Visitors in that.
Yep, exactly. Major Kira is
Emily.
Not Emily. No, she's the love interest. I forget her name.
I thought it was
Inspector Dolan's daughter.
Yeah, Ellen.
Not
Emily. Yeah,
Ellen. That's right. Ellen Dolan. Yes. Great late 70s or late 80s movie. I remember when it was on TV. I watched it. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Guys, in addition to that Batman 66 Two-Face movie, I picked it up from the library. I also picked up this.
No, why?
Not.
Hold on. Gotta solo you for that, for God's sake. Right?
That's crazy.
Solo. Yeah. Have any of you guys seen? I'm holding up for the audio listeners. I'm holding up the film.
This is how I solo him. Go ahead.
I've seen
the movie. Yeah, go on, Franco.
I've seen the Solo movie. I refuse to see that thing.
Buttholes sold separately.
Do they show their buttholes in there?
I don't know. I haven't watched it yet. I hope so.
I thought they were digitally removed.
I hope they are. They are.
That was when it went out to the theaters and there was actually stagehands and sweatshirts walking through the scenes because they didn't digitally remove them and they had to send a new printout that Monday after it opened because they forgot to take out some of the background stuff. I'm like, are you serious?
Wow,
that's bad. Or they should have left it in there. It might have been more entertaining that way.
I can't wait. I can't wait for this experience. I hope they left the butts in there. Well, the holes.
That'd be funny if they digitally remove them, but then, like for the Snyder cut, they digitally put them back.
The Snyder hole cut.
The Snyder holes.
Did it make any money at all anywhere internationally?
No.
Nothing.
No I think so. I think it made like $4, but they spent a lot more than that.
It didn't make $4 because it cost like $100 million. No, it didn't make any money.
Okay, what are you, like a math whiz now, Johnny?
I'm just saying.
Numbers scare him.
I didn't get my CPA license, but I can handle that kind of math.
There are 40 minutes of bonus features on this disc.
Oh, that's funny. Juan wants us to do a commentary for cats. I don't know, man.
40 minutes of boner material might be better.
That's too much James, what's his face from the talk show, and Rebel Wilson for me. I don't know.
Yeah, well, some of them wear pants, some don't. I don't think the James Corden one wears pants, but
I'd watch Taylor Swift in a cat suit. That's kind of like a Batman thing.
Oh, she's in
isn't
that
that her-
sort of cat suit, sure.
in the back cover.
What is that? Is that her?
In the back, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I'd watch that all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's her normal, like in a cat suit, isn't it? Look at that.
She hangs around the house like that. I've heard.
She wangs.
I want to
around
make
the house.
this is a family show, or else I'd make a pussy joke or something.
Oh,
Oh,
wow!
oh.
You went there.
It's cats. It's about cats.
Dame Judith Anderson's in that. She's like what, 70 or something?
But it's
You mean-
about cats.
Judy Dench.
Uh-oh. Judy Dench. What did I say?
You a bag of hammers to watch cats.
Thank you, Wayne. I think I'll need it from what I'm hearing. I'll need that bag of hammers.
Did you consciously say I'm gonna get this? I'm gonna watch this on purpose?
Yeah. No, it wasn't like I went to the library and it was on the shelf and I thought, all right, let's see what this is about. No, I intentionally ordered this and had them ship it from another library to my local library, and I went and picked it up.
Wow.
That's the COVID talking. That's crazy talk.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what came over me, but I'm
you
ready
went to
for
the
this.
library to get this thing so you could see it rather than get a book on actual cats.
Not good, sir.
That's right.
Oh,
Not good at all.
Top Cat would have been good. That was a good show.
Cat in the Hat. Cat in the Hat would have been a good book to
Nah, the live action one's horrible.
Cat
get.
would have been all
You
right.
go to your library. You go to your local library. You take out Cat in the Hat. You send it to me. I'll draw all the buttholes on it, and then I'll send it back to you.
I would love that.
A collection of Stray Cats videos from the 80s would have been.
Cat People would have been great when the
Cat
staff
People,
and Annette O'Toole.
Yes.
We're gonna and this
with the David Bowie
Kinski.
Where's she nowadays?
Stray cat strut, baby.
I don't know.
You know, speaking of the cat buttholes,
I'm glad we are. Continue.
I just recently received a prostate exam. That was
Did you apply some cayenne paste?
Did you get that? Did you get that at the library too?
Measure?
No. The doctor comes to the house and does it. No, I'm just kidding.
Really?
No, wouldn't that be crazy?
That was not a doctor. I'm sorry.
That was not a doctor.
Exactly.
He put his hand on your shoulder to reassure you it's going to be okay. Then he put his other hand on your other shoulder. Wait a minute.
He got
Wait
your
a
name off the
second.
list at the library for getting the Cats movie.
Good thing this is a kid's show.
So, well, guys, this is now it's an important thing to do. First off, like you got it's good to get checked. And I may not appear to be old enough to get this exam, but I am. You're never too young, and so I didn't know what to expect. Though I really didn't do any research.
I can tell you if they put a finger up your ass.
Well, now I know that now, but as we're getting ready to do this, so the doctor, he's giving me instructions. Okay, now lay on your side. I'm going to talk you through this whole thing. Lay on your side. He throws me a box of Kleenex.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, why is this guy throwing me a box of Kleenex? What is this for?
Yeah.
For my tears? Is that what this is for?
Exactly.
Could
I had
be.
no idea. And he didn't explain it. He's like, you might need this. I'm like, thinking, for what? Like, what is going to give my face when he does this?
Did he give you a bottle of lotion too?
Exactly.
You know what? But you'll take the quickest poops ever after that for a couple hours. It's like, boop, right out, like a goose.
Man, you're telling me. Well, I had a pretty good idea after that what was going to happen next, but he walked me through it, and it was fine. You know what, though? It's like, how long does he have to go in there to figure this out? I mean, I swear, like he's going around in there.
Yeah.
It's so deep.
Yeah.
And it was like, wait, is this guy is he writing his name in there in cursive?
Exactly, right?
What is he doing?
I'm so glad we're talking about this.
You know what's worse? I had mine done, and the doctor was a cosplayer who goes to my convention. How do you think? Yes.
No.
Yes. As she's doing it, she goes, "Oh, by the way, I go to your conventions as this is happening." And I go, "What now?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm a cosplayer. I'll say hello to you at the next show." Do you really want to have that relationship outside the doctor's office?
Dressed as a cat.
And she came dressed as a giant rubber glove.
Like a furry.
Remember me?
Yeah, like a furry, one of the furries, right?
But I'm wondering what she says on chat rooms. Hey, you know the guy from Terrificon? I had my finger up.
I've seen this. I've seen the future.
I've seen his junk.
So
Yeah.
I like that Skoke got very excited about this this prospect.
How many of you had
that happened?
Then?
Wait till you get a colonoscopy. That's
colonoscopy's great. I did mine with no anesthesia. That's great.
Oh,
I
wish they would have knocked me out for this because I would have preferred that. I think I don't want to
picture a 6-foot long hose with a camera up your ass into.
Welcome to the medical hour about your.
And I was awake the whole time. The doctor's like, "Why is this guy awake?" I go,
"Yeah, why were you awake?"
No, I asked him ahead of time. I was apprehensive. I said, "Is this going to be painful?" He goes, "It's not painful at all." I said, "Oh, then we're good." So I don't want to be. I've never been knocked out. Knock on wood, my entire life. Never been knocked out. Nothing like Rocky. Never been knocked out.
Johnny couldn't take any more of this.
So what happened is, I show up at 7 a.m. and I get ready for the prep. It's at 7:30.
Oh wait. Were you dressed as Captain America when you showed up?
No. I did have a Marvel T-shirt on. The guy shows up and he's like, "Hey, I'm the anesthesiologist." I'm like, "For what?" He says, "Because they said
Thanks,
you
Sal. Sal says that you
call
called me inappropriate."
He said it's not going to hurt, and he goes, "It's your choice." So I went there. And I was wide awake, and they wheel me in. The doctor goes, "Why is this guy still awake?" I go, "You told me it's not going to hurt." He goes, "Okay, it's too late now." And then they just grease me up, and they put the thing in, and they have a big giant TV screen. And it looked like the Death Star trench run. And I watched that.
You watched it?
For 30. He's looking at my stuff. He goes, "Oh, there's your appendix." I go, "Dude, I ever want to see that?" But I'm looking at it
How
now.
far up did this guy go?
He went to my appendix. He went through the whole intestine. And I'm making jokes like, "Find my car keys in there, doc." He wasn't joking, but the nurse was cracking up. And then when it's all over, they go, "We're going to put you in the farting room now." I go, "What? Why?" He goes, "Because we blew a lot of air into your intestines to get it to open up to put the camera through. So that air's got to expel itself." I go, "Oh my God, what Nazi thought of this procedure?" So next thing you know, I'm in the farting room and my wife comes in to see me. I go, "Dear, don't come in here because I'm going to be indisposed." And the other guy in the other room was all knocked out on the dope, the propofol, whatever they gave him.
The dope?
The stuff that Michael Jackson was taking. So he's high as a kite, ripping farts left and right. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm awake over here." So
can we go back to trashing Lower Decks instead? Because
it's the same thing. It's shit.
I think we are trashing the Lower Decks right now.
All right, Skoke. So anyway, whenever you're about to go, call me and I'll let you know. I'll walk you through it.
No,
I will do that. I will do that.
And if Sal's out there, come on, toughen up. You know damn well you like it.
Wow.
My wife said, "I think you like that colonoscopy too much." I go,
Can we cut this out, Johnny? Is that
John left? He's on another show right now.
I think this is live.
Yeah. Oh, it is? Oh, we can't cut this out.
Man, we're done. Let me call Batman. Hello.
Well, with Johnny gone, we can't even get any viewer comments. Nothing's happening. Not that there would have been anything after.
I don't know. I thought Lower Decks was starting now because it's 8:30 or it's 9 o'clock. Theaters going, "What now?"
Did we not lose everybody? I figured we would have by now.
Well, between your prostate and my colon, I think so.
I just made an offhand comment about wait till you get your colonoscopy. I wasn't expecting going through the.
I was doing it because it's got to be done. If you're over 50, don't screw around with
it. I was just saying, I just wasn't expecting to go through the Mitch Halleck trenches tonight. Literally.
I thought he was going to show us on the Spider-Man doll how it goes.
How he touched me.
He touched me here.
You got to lay on your left side. You put your leg up.
That's exactly it.
They go in that way. So now you know your left side is easy access.
Okay, so we're done now with.
This is like a PSA. This is like for your colon and prostate health.
It's a PSA. What?
The All Yeah podcast wants you to have a clean pooper and a clean pecker.
It's important. You got to get checked.
It is important. No. God forbid.
Skokie, tell us about something else that happened to you other than that.
Sure. Listen, guys, I'm not good with home improvement stuff, but I just redid the caulk around the bathtub, where the wall meets the tub.
Where the Jeff Goldblum shower curtain is?
Absolutely.
You have a Jeff Goldblum shower curtain?
I do.
Out.
What?
I sure do.
You don't listen to past episodes?
No, I don't watch this stuff. What, are you kidding me? I don't watch these things. I got a life.
Man.
Oh, well. Sorry.
I'll have to show you at some point. I'll have to show you the shower curtain. It's majestic. It's majestic. It's amazing. Johnny's seen it.
Back.
Does it have mold on it?
No, but the grout did, so that's why I had to remove it and replace it. I did a fine job. I did a lot of research. I got all the right equipment, and I did it. It's tremendous. It's excellent, and you're gonna love it.
Are you going to be able to host new episodes of This Old House now?
I think so. I should. Maybe this is starting something. I'm not really into fixing things and tools and all that, but maybe
plaid shirt.
This might have awakened something within me.
You know, it's cool that you have a black shirt on and a black background, so all you have is like that head, like the elders in Krypton. Guilty.
Guilty.
What are those guys?
Hey, Johnny, where did you go? The bathroom?
Yeah. No, actually, I got myself a cup of coffee because I didn't want to hear any more ass talk. Thank you. Can we move on to something else, please?
I thought we had.
Good.
We moved on to Home Improvement.
Yeah, I heard that part. All right, fantastic.
Did you?
Taxes are next. We're gonna do our taxes.
I haven't put it out yet, word balloon wise, because the guy wanted to pre-record. But today I spoke to Alexander Nevsky. Alexander Nevsky is a Russian.
The Russian spy.
He's a bodybuilder. He was a former Mr. Universe. He is definitely on the Schwarzenegger action hero plan, and has made 7 action movies. He's got a new movie out that is called, Red Prophecies, and it's co-stars Eric Roberts and Michael Madsen, and it's definitely Redbox kind of material. But I love a good action movie, and he could not have been nicer and more interesting. And he was a big television star in Russia. And he's like, again, Mr. Universe, and he had a fitness show on Russian television.
How old is this guy?
Like probably late 30s, maybe early 40s, but still like massive, like 6'5", over 300 pounds, all muscle. He was an amateur boxer, so I talked boxing with him, which was great. And really interesting guy. And honestly, I'm fascinated by anyone who makes their own movies. And I mean, really going back to even old Hollywood and people like Hopalong Cassidy that produced his own movies, and people like that. And honestly, no, just during the pandemic, how's he handling things? And he had made 90% of the movie in Russia. Then the COVID crisis hit, and he had to finish the last 10% in LA, and he got it done. And it's going to be out end of the year. But it's
he got it done during COVID.
Yeah, he finished whatever needed to be done. Limited production staff and just a couple inserts here and there. Pardon the expression. And it was really cool. It was really interesting.
You know what's so funny? You mentioned Hopalong Cassidy. I think this is who I heard about yesterday at the comic shop. Was he the guy that was actually very wealthy and then lost all his money when the stock market folded in the 20s, and then had to go back to making movies? Is that true?
Yes, he was a silent star. There was another. His real name was William Boyd, and this other William Boyd was involved in a scandal, but word got out that it was just William Boyd, so he was really screwed by this other actor's scandal.
Wow!
And then reinvented himself as Hopalong Cassidy. He was a dramatic actor in the silent years, and he really then became Hopalong and took a gamble and ended up financing the movies himself and bought the rights to the character from the original creator and bought the old movies. And then when television hit, he put the movies on TV. They were a huge success, and he made a Hopalong television show subsequent to the movies. But no, then led a comfortable life after that. And made millions. Yeah.
I was surprised because I found out that Wayne Rogers, I didn't realize, died worth $80 million because he invested. MASH was just fun for him. He was an investor in real estate and stocks and all this stuff. He was around since the late 50s, early 60s, because if you go on YouTube, there's like Wayne Rogers in a wagon train, and he's like, in
wow.
I'm like,
well, that's one of the things why he left MASH, because he
didn't need it.
Well, not only because he didn't need it, but he was going into it with him and
Alan Alda.
Alan Alda being like a
team.
Team, and Alan Alda kind of it took off with Hawkeye more than Trapper, yeah.
Yeah,
So
and he's just and he said, I that's funny because I literally watched that early 2000s MASH reunion they did when Harry Morgan was still alive.
I watched that last night.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, and it's great. And yeah, and he was like, hey, no disrespect. Yeah. Everything that happened to Alan was great. It's just, the show changed from what I originally signed on to. Yeah. No hard feelings, and that's why he left. Yeah. I used to see him on Fox all the time in the 90s.
Oh, did you? I didn't watch
with financial analysis and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He knew his stuff. He graduated.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, Trapper John was a smart dude, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. See, I always thought of BJ as the replacement Trapper John. Even though he was on longer, I always thought of him as, this is the replacement guy. Trapper was the real
guy. But the show changed, and BJ was more the right character for the changes that happened to the show, in my opinion. And also, I liked BJ's whole backstory that, he young married, and he's, his kid's growing up, and he's not seeing it happen, and the times he would get frustrated and stuff. I kind of like that. I thought, and also,
and then you got to find out what BJ actually meant.
Never did.
No, but also I liked at the very end that he almost seemed like a Nam guy that went into the army very clean cut, and by the time he was leaving was definitely a grungy kind of almost a precursor to the hippies, kind of a beatnik or whatever at the end. So I kind of like that. I like BJ's trajectory as opposed to Klinger. Hey, I love Klinger.
Klinger was just hairy and went to more hairier.
He got hairier.
No,
now it's a little gray.
I was listening to these modern podcasts, and they go back and they review all these episodes, and it really irked me because they just go back on MASH, which was 48 years ago it started, and they're like, "Oh, this would never fly today. That Hawkeye's a womanizer, and they drink so." I go, "It's a show. Go watch All in the Family. Your mind will be blown." I mean, you can't think 2020 mentality with 1973.
They must be young hosts because
they must be. Because I was screaming at the podcast like, God.
Well, that's why Stanley Kubrick's not a good director.
Yeah, did you see all that BS today?
No.
On CBR, some critic is like Stanley Kubrick's misogyny kept him from being a great director, and it's like, I'm really sorry, but I think the American Film Institute already declared him a great filmmaker. Look, there are jerks. Hollywood is, for 120 years, Hollywood has produced a lot of jerks over these, including Thomas Alva Edison. That said, there are genius filmmakers that were jerks. Sorry, kids. That's just the facts. Again, it's just this. I don't know why people admire this guy, and it's like, okay.
Well, you mentioned Jamie Farr because there's an episode where it's Christmas and he has a bandana on, and Frank Burns says, "Take it off," and he has a fight with Frank, and he goes to his bunk and he gets a grenade, and he comes back, and Father McKay, he has to talk him out of from blowing up the place, and the guy goes, "Wow, they had to pick a Middle Eastern character who wants to come in and blow himself up and kill Frank and all the people in the hospital." I go, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, I never thought of that. They go, "Because he's Lebanese." I go, at that point in the show, I don't think they even established where Klinger was from yet, because it was like his third appearance, and he was eventually from Toledo. But I'm like, dude, you're bringing too much baggage into this thing.
Did Mike Nagin just comment? Isn't he on the show?
I just texted him to see if he wants. If he wants in.
Why is he texting us? He should be on the show.
I'm sorry. Good. Okay. He said sure.
Yeah, he was named after B and his father, mother and
father.
No,
then he said that was a lie because he did tell Hawkeye that, and then it was kind of like not real. So anyway.
All right, I'm sending him the link. I feel bad. I apologize, Mike. Hang on.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the funny thing, they started badmouthing Star Trek. I said, "Oh, don't tell Johnny this because Suntress will hit the roof," because they started going on about the 60s. I was like, "Oh no." By the way, Kirk acted and all that. I'm like, you can't go rewrite history, guys. You can't.
All right. Am I getting everybody here?
You can. We should.
Hold on.
20 years from now, we'll come back to this show.
All right.
And we'll talk about this episode specifically because of all the butt stuff.
Okay, and I sent Scoot the link too, I think.
It's going to be like the Brady
shortly.
I read Franco. I finally read The Ghost, the Owl, and I enjoyed that.
Oh, thanks. That came
Very
out like 7 years ago. Thanks.
What's up, guys?
No, thank you very much. Mike.
What's up, Mike?
Hey guys.
Other
I
Mike.
apologize, Mike. Totally my fault.
No worries. Scoot's trying to get in too.
Yeah, I saw that, and I sent reset the link you just got. I sent to Scoot as well.
Thanks, other Mike or Mike. Thank you for reading it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really liked the story, and Sarah's art was amazing.
Yes,
It's a good book.
We are working on a couple of other things, so hopefully that'll all will be revealed in time.
Nice.
So yeah.
You know, she has an interesting kind of hobby that she does with her mom. They clean gravestones.
Mhm.
Like they go to cemeteries and they do that. And
Who does this? Sarah? Richard?
Yeah. I've seen the pictures of like the before and after. It's amazing, like how clean they get these things, how good they get them to look.
They like restore them too. Like it looks like if there's cracks or whatever. I don't know what they do exactly, but they look like brand new. Yeah.
And then they perform satanic rituals to raise the dead.
But of
course, doesn't everybody?
You know,
why else would you do it?
Yeah.
I love Sarah. She's a sweetheart.
Is the ghost story part of the show?
No, that's later.
Much later.
No, we're gonna tell it later. Yeah, we're gonna tell ghost stories later.
Hey, Franco. Speaking of your books, I got a note from Alex, my daughter, the other day. Right? Do you know what that is?
I believe it's misspelled.
Hold on, stand by. Sorry.
No, it is not.
Hang on. Leave it up there. Hold on. All right.
I think that's writing from an alien ship that they found in Roswell.
It's like Krypton. Kryptonian.
It is Kryptonian.
Thank you.
It says, "I love you." She left that note. She is obsessed with Superman of Smallville. I think she's read it, no joke, like 20 times, and now she's constantly writing Kryptonian stuff all over the place. So
that's awesome.
Kryptonian or Kryptonese? I always thought it was Kryptonese for the language.
Kryptonese makes more sense.
No. I always say Kryptonian.
Kryptonian would be the people, but the language would be Kryptonese.
Or the various things of Krypton would be Kryptonian.
Since you did bring up Superman of Smallville, I'm going to plug Archimaniacs, which comes out in December and is available for order right now in preview and bookstores. I just got the preview copy that's going to print this week. Actually, it's going to print this week. So, thank you. It looks really good. And I signed a deal. I think I said this before. I signed a deal for a couple more projects that are coming from DC. So look out for those soon.
Nice.
I hope it's a Superman book, because if it is, I get in. You promised.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk.
Don't forget.
Cameo. I like
it. They are interesting, interesting projects to say the least. So,
guys, I keep forgetting to upload my John Cleese 3-minute conversation.
Yeah, what the hell?
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry.
Why have I been waiting all this time? I thought you were going to play it at the beginning of the show.
I understand. And you know, they were sending me advertisements for other celebrities, and it's like, yeah, I don't want to go from a conversation with John Cleese to Screech. Thank you.
Is he in jail? Yeah, I was going to say he's in jail, right?
I was pulling a name out of my ass.
Oh, wow. See, we go back to
colonoscopy.
Yes.
You were pulling Screech out of your ass, is what you're saying.
That sounds painful.
So wait a second. You had a conversation with him, or it was like the Jamie Farr thing?
It was a 3-minute meet and greet.
It was a meet and greet. Oh, yeah. I thought it was like a cameo.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I really want to see that then.
It was great. I'm really glad I did it again with COVID and his age, because I forget if it was Kimmel. It was one of the late night talk shows he was on, and they came from a break, and he was already sitting down, which kind of suggests to me that maybe he's slowing down a little bit as far as mobility. Right. And yeah, so I'm like, again, I mean, I wish him no ill. I love John Cleese, as we all know, but it's like, all right, this is probably maybe the last chance I'll ever get to even talk to him for a second. And it was great. It was like 3 minutes, and I'll show it next time. I will upload it. I was busy today. We're doing the Outer Limits podcast, me and Gabe Hardman, later tonight. And I found a great clip of Robert Culp talking about the show, because he really is in one of the, like, a couple of the most distinct episodes of the Outer Limits. And we really enjoyed talking about that. So, yeah.
Actually, another programming note: before this show, we're doing a Lower Decks review. before this show, and then we're doing an Oh Yeah podcast right after the show before the Outer Limits.
Thank you. Timey-wimey. Yes. What were you going to say, Mitch?
I was going to say there's a great new Monty Python documentary on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, it came out last weekend. It's like 5 or 6 episodes.
Really?
So, yeah, I watched.
It's not the old one, that Awful Truth that was on IFC years ago, and they had everybody in it.
I thought this was new. So they talked about how they were all in boys' school and they all did their skits and they all met each other and then they went to the BBC. Was that the same thing?
I have a feeling it probably was.
Oh, all right. Well,
especially if Terry Jones is in it, then especially so, because his son produced it. His son made it.
He is in it, so I guess.
Okay, yeah, and obviously he passed away.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It just popped up.
Yeah. No, it's great. No, well, it was on IFC originally, and whenever, like last year or 2 years ago, whenever Netflix got kind of custody of all the Python stuff, that was part of it. It's a great. I mean, it's an amazing documentary.
Yeah, no, it was good. I watched the whole thing in one sitting, but it was weird. It just popped up as one of the newer things. Maybe they just got it this week. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah,
I got a good Robert Culp story.
Please, I love Robert Culp.
I met Robert Culp at a Chiller Theater in Jersey.
Believe it or not,
he was at a Chiller Theater in Jersey. He was signing autographs, taking pictures. He was sitting on like a high tall boy type chair, right? And I don't think it was the table next to him, but the table 2 over was Barbara Eden. With Barbara Eden.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going over there. I'm talking to him, and Barbara Eden's a couple over. She's signing whatever she's doing, and I just see him going like this. Right? He's not looking at me while I'm talking. I'm like, and then finally I looked over, and he just looks at me, and goes, "Va va voom." And that was the whole thing.
Nice.
When did this take place? Because that's
a long time ago. Long time ago.
He was at New York Comic Con. Did you see him there?
He was at New York Comic Con.
You had Robert Culp and William, and then a couple days later that he fell and hit his head and he was gone. But
that would have been prior to me.
Wow. Speaking of
2008 or 7.
Yeah. I was still on the other side at that.
Speaking of which, just today, I saw on I Like Pink about Michael Hogan.
What happened?
A friend of the show. He was at some show in Canada somewhere, and he fell and hit his head, and then he went to bed not thinking anything was wrong, and then they had a hard time reviving him in the morning. They brought him to the hospital, and he's in really, really bad shape.
He had a brain bleed.
Yeah. A friend of the family has set up a GoFundMe. So if anybody, I think it was, if I remember correctly, I think it was Guan who put up the link in I Like Pink. So if you go in I Like Pink and you see the GoFundMe, Michael is an awesome guy. We've met him a couple of times at a couple of different shows. Such a sweetheart. It broke my heart when I saw it. But if you can spare any change for Michael and his family, because his wife has become his kind of caretaker. But from what I read, his wife can't even visit him because of COVID, and he's in like a special home actually to be taken care of.
Is he like really debilitated and everything?
From what I understand.
That's heartbreaking. Oh my God.
Wheelchair and
really,
that's like the boxing referee Mills Lane had that kind of. He had a stroke and was never right after that, and eventually passed away. God, that's horrible.
I remember when Mike Tyson punched him, right? Was it Mike Tyson or somebody who punched him and knocked him out? No, who was it?
No, let's talk about Michael Hogan for a second.
And the GoFundMe actually has a heartbreaking story about how him and his wife, to this day, well, not to this day, but before he got sick, every morning they go to the same place to eat breakfast. There's like the same diner or whatever the case may be. And it was like their table, and now no one will sit there. Like no one sat there. No one sat there because they would be there every day, same time, every morning, and holding hands and eating. And now, like they're not there anymore. It's just the whole story was really, really.
Yeah.
We've told the story before on this show, but for people who maybe haven't heard it, Artie and him, and it really is Artie's story to begin with, totally bonded in a limo at a convention. And Artie didn't know who he was, and he's like, I work on Battlestar Galactica, and he's like, not the Lord Green one. And Hogan laughed. And he's like, no, the new one. He's like, I didn't know there was a new one. And they just became friends. And I think they were both, were they smoking at the time when Artie used to smoke and everything? Didn't Artie used to smoke?
Artie never smoked. No, we were at a convention, and outside of the convention hall, Mike would come out and do, smoke or whatever, and he caught us. We said goodbye to him because he was flying back home. And then, a half an hour later or something like that, he came back because he missed a flight. So he came back to the hotel. They put him back in the hotel, and we wound up sitting outside for like an hour talking. And then the next day at the convention, he came over to talk to us, and he goes, "Oh, let me introduce you to my friend Eddie. Eddie, come on over here." And it was,
Edward James Olmos.
Yeah, it was Edward James Olmos. I'm like, "Oh, hi, Eddie. How are you?"
And then the following year, because was that at Wizard Chicago?
I'm so bad at that. I can't remember.
Well,
I want to say maybe Detroit. I can't remember.
Okay. Well, I know the following year it was Wizard Chicago, and we're all sitting at the old sports bar that isn't there anymore in a booth, and it's like me, Artie. I don't know if you were there, Francis, but it was Norton and Tim Seeley and Brian Salazar from Around Comics podcast. And all of a sudden, Mike Hogan.
I may have been there. I don't remember.
Okay, and literally, Mike Hogan just walks up and he's like, "Jesus, Artie, where you been? I've been looking for you for 2 days." And Artie's just like, "Oh, hey Hogan, how you doing? Meet our friends." And we're all like, because we hadn't met him. I mean, Franco met him, but we hadn't met him. And he sits down with us, and it was like the greatest hangout. And all we're doing is just like, "Oh my God, this scene from Galactica, that scene." We're like, "You're the man, dude." And he was fantastic. Couldn't have been sweeter. And it truly, I think, one of the best actors in genre fiction of the last 20 years, easily.
Yeah.
And so many great. Great in Smallville as Deathstroke.
Yeah, and he was in Man in the High Castle and a couple other things recently. So he was working up until recent.
Oh yeah. So, no, he had several Canadian TV shows, because that's like, again, it's his bread and butter. That's where he lives. So stuff on the CBC that we weren't getting. Amazing guy. And that's just that's hard. Yeah. Man, that, and as Scoot knows, being and likely Mike knows, Negan. I don't know about the other guys, if you guys know, my buddy Gail Sayers passed away yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh no, I actually do know. Oh no.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah.
77.
Oh
yeah, and seriously, I said it online for people watching that didn't see my social media post about it. When I was breaking into radio, before getting into radio again full time, I worked at Gail Sayers Bank, and he and his wife, I'd see them all the time, and they were very sweet, and they were great to all of us young tellers. And literally, Mrs. Sayers would be like, "What do you want to do, John? You don't want to be a teller for the rest of your life." I'm like, "No, I really am trying to break into broadcasting." "Oh my God, you would be great at broadcasting. You have a lovely voice." "Oh, thanks, Mrs. Sayers." And and Gail would be really nice. And when Walter Payton passed away, we hired Gail at our sports talk station to do Monday post game, like Bears analysis, Monday afternoon. And one of the first broadcasts that Gail did, we would do them from sports bars and stuff. And I happened to be on site, and Gail came and his wife came, and she's like, "John Suntress," and it was Mrs. Sayers. And I'm like, "Hey, how you doing, Mrs. Sayers?" She's like, "Look at you. Are you part of this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I work there." She's like, "We are so proud of you." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, you are living your dream." "Gail, do you remember when John was our teller?" And Gail was great, man. He had that stammer, but he was a sweetheart of a guy, funny as hell. And he's like, "Yes, I do remember you, John. Nice to see you." So then he started doing our station for several years, doing the football seasons. And he would like take me to the side and be like, "How they treating you?" And I'm like, "Good." And he goes, "You really sound good. Keep up." He's like, "You're where you need to be. You stick with this, John. You know what you're doing." Gail Sayers. I'm like, "Thanks, man." And he was an incredibly good guy. I hadn't seen him in a good 15 years, easily. But I know they had a thing for the Bears 2 years ago. It was the All-Century. It was the Bears Centennial, the 100 years. And the big celebration. My friend Jeff Joniak is the play-by-play guy, the local play-by-play guy for the Bears, and he was the MC. And I had heard earlier, because there was a TV thing that I was trying to put together, and one of the producers was like, "Can you get Gail Sayers?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll ask." And that's when I found out that Gail had really bad Alzheimer's. And not to bring us down, but truly at this Bears All Century presentation, big deal. All the living Bears were there. And even Mrs. Sayers wanted Gail to be there because he would have moments of clarity. But he had such horrible Alzheimer's. He was in a wheelchair. It was difficult for him to walk because the Alzheimer's was so bad he couldn't even get himself to get up and walk. He would all be impulsive. He could walk, but it was just messed up. And Richard Dent, one of the 85 Bears, was kind of his minder for the event and really just kind of watching him on stage because he would have moments of clarity. And Mrs. Sayers didn't want him to miss him connecting and seeing Dick Butkus and, recognizing him, and that would bring him a moment of joy. And he would get restless being on stage and be like, all right, let's get out of here. And Richard would be like, no, Gail, we're sitting still for a while. Just stay with it. Oh, okay. But just heartbreaking. So yeah, I mean, again, I don't mean to bring everybody down, but I'm relieved because he was he was suffering, and Mrs. Sayers was suffering as well. So it's really for the best. But truly, I mean, the guy's a hero for all the athletic ability that he had, but also could not have been a nicer gentleman and just a great, great guy, and really treated everybody with respect. And you couldn't help but love him. And he was just an amazing guy. So
sorry to hear that.
All right, Johnny.
yeah, thanks, man. Well, All right, so that's a bummer. Sorry. back to butthole talk.
Jumping back to Hogan briefly,
Yes, please.
I read a story about him where at first he was kind of hesitant to go to conventions to make appearances because he didn't really understand what they were, understand the experience. But his co-stars from Battlestar convinced him. They're like, no, man, this is great. You go there and you just have all these people telling you how much they like your show and your work. You got to come do this. So he went and did one and he loved it. And he just kept doing them after that.
Carl Lumley. Go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, because he lived in
Vancouver, I want to say.
Yeah, so kind of far out there. He lived, on this island. I think one of the first times I met him was in Seattle, maybe, because it was a closer show for him to go to. So I think that was one of the first shows he had been to or something like that. And then we saw him over the course of the next couple of years.
Well, that's what was cool about us getting the Justice League cast on the Mainframe show, because Susan had told me, Eisenberg, that Carl Lumley had a bad experience at a convention years ago, and that's why he stopped going.
Oh, wow.
And
wasn't the cast terrific on, Mitch?
Yes, they were. Thanks.
Even Carl.
Salt in the wound right there.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry,
I thought he had decided that he was going to do your show. So
yeah, he did.
I was actually excited about that.
No, they all were. And Susan, God bless her, she got actually Phil Lamar talked Carl into it, and Carl wrote to me and said, I don't do these. And he said, Phil raved about your show. And then I talked to him. He said, I'll do it. And then effing COVID had to happen, so we didn't get it done. So maybe next year we'll see.
Yeah, they're all, honestly, Mitch, I know they're all on a rain check for you. Truly.
No, I was just talking to Susan the other day. We were
that's great.
But yeah, she's great. No, I met the Hogan. You're funny you say that. I never watched Battlestar either. I'm like Artie. And I was at the Wizard World show they had at the Piers in New York, and my buddy wanted an autograph from Hogan, and I was on the cell phone, and he's right next to me, and he hears me. I go, who do you want? The guy from Battlestar Galactica? Yeah, I'm standing in front of his booth. And he looks up, he goes, hey, who are you talking to? And I go, what? And he goes, who's on that phone? I go, oh, my friend Eric wants to get, give me the phone. And he takes it, why aren't you at the fragging show? I got this guy. He doesn't even know who the hell I am. You get your ass down here. You want an autograph. You do it in person. You don't send your lackeys. I'm like, who the hell are you, man?
That's why he's awesome.
And he grabbed the phone. He's like, I'll sign it for you, but I'll tell you, I'm not happy about this situation. You hear me, boy? And he slammed I go, oh, give me my phone back. And he's like, okay. And then he turned him real nice, like, okay, what's his name? And he signs the autograph. And he goes, you don't watch the show? I go, no, I don't. He goes, well, what are you doing? I'm like, I got things to do. He goes, oh, go home and start watching it. But he seemed like a funny guy, though. But
he had that one scene where they did the trial of Baltar, the guy, the traitor that, screwed up the human race. And he's drunk on the stand. And, oh, God, I always forget the British actor's name that played the defense attorney, who's always great in everything that he does. He was on Doom Patrol.
Wasn't it Mark Shepard?
Yes, it was Mark Shepard. Thank you. Very good. Very good, Mike. Yeah, and he's like, you hate Gaius Baltar, don't you? And it was like the Kane Mutiny. And I said that to Michael Hogan. I'm like, I'm like, dude, that was your king. If you know Humphrey Bogart when he cracks on the stand and stuff, it's one of the greatest Humphrey Bogart scenes ever, and it's a weak Bogart and stuff. And that's the kind of thing. And then Hogan's like, that's exactly what I was going for. I'm like, well, you nailed it, man. It was amazing. And I was going to say regarding autographs and Galactica, the coolest thing I ever saw was Edward James Olmos. Somebody had the tabletop Battlestar Galactica game, and they brought the board for Olmos to sign. And he writes like a paragraph, and literally is like, let's say it was to David, and he's like, David, the Cylons will never defeat us. We will find Earth. So say we all. Best regards, Admiral, William Adama, a.k.a. Edward James Olmos. I'm like, Jesus, man, that's an autograph. Holy shit. Yeah. And now every time they play the game, there's awesome. Admiral Adama. That, and I asked I did a video interview with Olmos when he had just made that after the season ended, the last season, they had that 2-hour movie called The Plan that was supposedly like the Cylons' point of view of everything that happens in the series.
Right.
And I went up to Olmos. I'm like, hey, can we do a video interview? And he's like, you got to clear it through Aaron Gray, because as we all know, Aaron Gray reps a lot of these celebrities. And I laughed, and I said, wait, I got to go to talk to Admiral Adama? I got to talk to Commander Deering?
Yeah.
And he laughed, and he goes, no, she reps me, man. And so I went over, and Aaron Gray's like, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you, whatever. And I'm like, hi, listen, I understand you're repping, a lot of the celebrities. I wanted to arrange a video interview with Edward James Olmos. And all of a sudden she whips on the glasses. She's like, well, tell me about your website. How much, how many people are watching you and stuff. And this is like 2008. And I'm like, okay, well, blah, blah, blah. And I told her, and she's like, yeah, okay, go ahead and talk to him. Couldn't have been nicer. She was great.
She was awesome. I had to deal with her on some charity stuff we were trying to do for something. And one of the people she reps is Tom Welling.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I was trying to get to him for something, and it never worked out. But I went through her, and I got word back that Tom couldn't do it. But we were reaching out to a bunch of different people. She's the only one who actually got back to me, and I saw her at a show after that. And I just said, I just want to say I want to thank you. You're the only person who got back to me. We reached out to all these other people. She goes, oh, that didn't work out. Such a shame. It sounded so good. I got Tom on the phone right away, but I can only get them on the phone and ask them, and if they turn it. I said, yeah, but at least you gave me an answer, whereas everybody else gave me nothing. So I really appreciate it. So she's super sweet. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Did I ever tell you my Edward James Olmos story?
No, but you're about to.
So it's a long story, but I'll try and say it very quickly. Me and my wife, my wife does not like science fiction at all, right? She's not a big sci-fi fan. She's not a big superhero fan. She's not into any of that stuff. None whatsoever. But for whatever reason, she was into Battlestar Galactica. I got her to watch it. She loved it. She loved it more than I loved it. So when my son was born, it was kind of in the middle of one of the Battlestar Galactica seasons. I can't remember which one. But before she goes into labor, she calls up my buddy Mark, and she's like, Mark, I'm going to the hospital. You need to make sure you tape Battlestar Galactica. This is old school. It's like tape. I put it in the VCR. I need to record Battlestar Galactica. So he's like, all right. She's like, Mark, don't forget. I might not be home in time. Make sure you tape Battlestar Galactica. So sure enough, we go. We have the baby. She's all doped up on the drugs for whatever they gave her, the epidural and whatnot. So we're sitting in the after the baby was born. She's calling everybody. She's calling her dad. She's calling her mom, whoever she's calling. She's like, I gotta call Mark. I'm like, okay, yeah, call Mark. Okay, whatever, call Mark. So she picks up the phone, turn off, and Mark's like, I only hear her side of it, right? She's like, yeah, hey, Mark, what's up? Yeah, I had the baby. Listen, did you tape Battlestar Galactica for me? Yeah, he's fine. The baby's fine. Did you tape Battlestar Galactica? And she's all drugged up, right? So I made fun of her after that. It was a running joke. So flash forward to a few years later, we're at a comic book convention, and Edward James Olmos was there. And of course, I want to meet him. I'm a big fan. So I go over and I talk to him, and he's a guy who likes to talk. Like, he really gives a great fan experience. So I say, What the hell? I tell him the story. I decided to tell him that story. The dude starts to cry. He literally starts to. I'm not talking about tear up like you can see tears in it, like tears are coming down his face. He's like, that's because that's how much Battlestar Galactica meant to the fans. That story is beautiful, and he just goes on for like 20 minutes about how much Battlestar Galactica meant to the fans. And again, all teary-eyed, and I'm at some point I'm like, oh my god, I just broke Edward James Olmos. I felt so bad, and sure enough, he was appreciative of that story.
He's a good dude. I've seen him rave like that on panels a million times, and just how much it means to him that the fans love that show, and they're all very proud of that show, and they should be.
They should be. It's a great show.
Yeah.
Is it my turn to tell my Eddie James Olmos story?
Oh no!
Yeah.
How bad is this going to be?
It's going to be bad. So, it's 93. This is before your Battlestar Galactica.
Is this before or after Harrison Ford beat you
This
up?
is before Harrison Ford. It's the same. It's the same charity event. Oh, I've got stories about Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger and all that stuff. But anyway,
another show.
No. So Edward James Olmos is there. I go up to him. I recognize him from Blade Runner and Miami Vice. So I'm talking to him about that.
Castillo.
So he says, it's at a picnic, and he goes, oh, where are the hot dogs and all that? I said, oh, they're down there. And then I hear this voice. He goes, have you seen my wife?
Was that Lorraine Bracco at the time?
Well, you just ruined the punchline.
I'm so sorry.
I didn't know who his wife was at all.
I'm sorry, man.
I didn't know he was married to Lorraine.
I didn't know. Well, they were for a period of time, I guess. So anyway, I hear this voice going, Eddie. You know that Lorraine Bracco voice she has from like Sopranos and all that? I hear Eddie, and I wince. I go, oh my God, that voice. I go, who is it? It sounds like that woman from Goodfellas. And he stares at me. He's like, you're joking, right? I go, no, why? Why am I joking? He goes, that is my wife. My wife's Lorraine Bracco. And here she comes over. Oh, Eddie, I found where the hot dogs were. They're over by the tent. And I'm like, oh. And then the smiles and the talk we had seconds earlier kind of washed away from his face because he saw me cringing from the nails on the chalkboard.
The steel wool of her voice.
Yeah, and he just kind of walked away with her. But I heard they got divorced, so I don't know.
They did, it was bad because.
So anyway, that was
because I have a Lorraine Bracco story, and this is like Checkers or whatever. Yeah. King Me. The second season of The Sopranos, HBO did a big promotion for it, and they tied the premiere to a Roy Jones fight, and they invited a lot of us CBS people that worked on sports stations. Mm-hmm. And when they used to have the format called Free FM that Adam Carolla and others did, where it was basically guy talk. Mm-hmm. So they invited all of us to have dinner with the Sopranos cast and then go to a Roy Jones fight. And it was amazing. We met everybody. And Lorraine Bracco, I think it was right after the divorce or whatever, because she really kept herself shielded from everybody. And she was the one cast member that she had friends there. I guess she had to be there, but she wouldn't talk to anybody else. Everybody else talked. Gandolfini came late, but he still, if people were there, still said hello. Michael Imperioli was amazing. All the mobsters, Big Pussy and Paulie Walnuts and all, could not have been sweeter. The best was Junior, the Uncle Junior, because he's Johnny Ola from Godfather too. And me and Mike North, my former partner on sports radio, we're like, hey, forget the Sopranos stuff. You're Johnny Ola, for Christ's sake. And he's like, you're right, I am Johnny Ola. And he was very proud. But Steve Van Zandt was there. But it was really weird and disappointing that because Edie Falco and we talked for 10 minutes. She couldn't have been sweeter. And then really fun talking to her. Hello, hi, Fierio. I loved her as Carmela Soprano. But yeah, it was amazing. And we got to hang out with the whole Sopranos cast. And Michael Imperioli is like, are you hanging out or are you going to the fight? I'm like, I'm going to the fight. He's like, me too, man. I want to see Roy Jones. I'm like, absolutely, man. So it was hilarious. It was great.
I love that what I learned in the last hour on this podcast is that Edward James Olmos is a sweetheart of a man, and everybody here has great stories about him, but he hates Mitch. That's what I like about this.
I sense a running theme with your stories, man.
Yeah, Harrison Ford dislikes you.
Yeah, celebrities I've pissed off.
I can't wait to hear the Alec Baldwin story, but that's another one. Don't tell it here.
You gotta make a commercial of like Mitch celebrities I've pissed off by Mitch Allen.
Yeah, it's because what happens is most of the time I don't know who the hell they are, and it'll start like, oh yeah, and then I don't really care after that.
Aren't you in the pop culture business?
Yeah, I am. Like Patrick Wilson had to give me his whole resume one day because I didn't believe who he was, and he's telling me all these things he's done. I go, yeah, whatever. I don't know who you are. It was at New York Comic Con. Your boy Roger used to give me my press passes, and I'd go interview all the actors, and I would go, now who are you? Now tell me why I'm doing. And they would be like, did you read the notes they give you? One guy I called Babe for 25 minutes. He goes, why do you keep calling me Babe? I go, honestly, dude, I don't know who you are. You just sat down and I started talking to you. And he said that was great. At least I was being honest to him. So.
And that man was Oscar winner Peter O'Toole.
No, he was on some show with Sharon Stone called Agent X.
And I remember that show. That was a TNT show. Yeah.
Hefner was his last name because I remember Hugh Hefner. I kept thinking that, but I don't know what happened to the guy.
Was that a Guggenheim show? Because I know I knew this.
Yeah, it was on CBS or something. Yeah.
No, it was TNT.
Yeah. See.
No, it was an interesting premise, but yeah, it got like no buzz. So it was only the one season. That's hilarious, though. See, I don't miss those press junkets. I really don't. I hate it.
No, because what happens is your friend Mark Altman, Rob Burnett's buddy, Walking Dead was going on, and that was the biggest thing since sliced bread, and everybody went to the Walking Dead big theater they had in New York Comic Con when the show first started, and nobody was in the press rooms. And Mark Altman, who used to do Cinema Fantastic and sci-fi stuff on the sci-fi show, he grabs me because he knows me, and he goes, oh, please go interview the cast of, what was that?
Femme Fatales.
Femme Fatales. He goes, please interview the girls. No one's here. And I was in a room with like 12 or 10 playmates, and they were
Cinemax girls, absolutely.
Yeah. And I had to interview all of them.
I'm sorry.
For an hour and a half, and I was like, Mark, why are you doing this to me? He's like, no one else showed up, Mitch. I'm like, all right. That was interesting.
Yeah, boy, again, it's such a bad day that you keep telling the story, pal. We're all grieving for you.
Interesting fun fact. All the Playboy playmates hate him now.
Exactly. He's persona non grata at the grotto.
No, because I kept saying when you do your lovemaking scenes, and one of the girls, oh, he's so sweet. He says lovemaking. And I go, how do you get ready for the scene? And she goes, well, they give you a script, and it says the guy's going to bang you over a sink. And then when you get to the set, there's no sink, and they change it to a shower. So we're doing it in the shower. And I'm like, huh?
I'd like to remind everyone that, again, several of the creators that are on this podcast write children's books.
Which ones are they?
I don't know.
Anyway,
it was a home improvement segment. Where's your mind in the gutter? They were putting together a sink, and she said they had a bang in a sink. Just like Skoke had to do his bathroom call.
Hey, Skoke, tell us about cats again.
Yeah.
Exactly. Can we go back to our whole talk, please?
Mitch was mentioning he called the guy Babe.
Babe.
Fun fact about the Three Stooges: that was Moe's nickname for his brother Curly.
Really?
Yes, it is. That's true.
Moe's last movie was a horror movie. I found that out today.
Yes.
Dr. Death?
Dr. Death, yes, because the woman that played Henry Blake's wife, Lorraine, on the show was from Invaders from Mars, and she was in that movie called Dr. Death, and I don't know why I'm even bringing that up, but anyway, there you go.
Because you pissed off Mo Howard that time.
Exactly.
I wish I could.
I never cared for him, Mo.
60 Soupy Sales was the only icon. I wouldn't take free tickets to his concert. He was throwing them at me. I said, I don't want these. Leave me alone. And he chased me out of the newsstand. He was buying lottery tickets. And he's like, don't you want to go see my comedy act? I go, God, no. And I went home and my dad was so mad. He goes, he's a genius. He's the guy that threw the pies in people's face. How could you tell him no? I go, he sucks.
He does suck.
He did with the pies in the thing. Yeah. And fuck him.
Who's the guy? Nice. Who was the guy? Was it Uncle Floyd?
Oh yeah, down in Jersey. Now he's a talent. Floyd.
Now, like they tried him in Chicago. We didn't care for Uncle Floyd.
Oh, with the little hand thing. Hi.
Well, that's like what's his Soupy used to do the hand thing too.
Yeah, but Floyd was a local guy.
What's the hand thing?
He'd have like
this little character, like a clown, but it was
like Senor Wences, yeah.
Yeah, and he'd like,
but
had that voice.
Like for Soupy had Fang, and Fang was like a Yeti or like a Sasquatch or whatever, and all you'd see was this furry hand, and it was just like a glove, but that would represent Fang, this like giant monster and stuff.
Johnny, that's what happens when you do it too much.
Hey, don't tell me.
Hey, this is a kid's show. It's a kid's show, damn it.
He was on the radio.
I didn't say what it was. I didn't say what it was. So get your mind out of the gutter.
What it was Don Imus was on in the morning, then Soupy Sales came on, and then Howard Stern was the afternoon guy on WNBC.
And Howard Stern would share them both a new one.
Well, yeah, that's an easy target, Soupy Sales.
Oh yeah, he used to rip Soupy apart. He's like, oh my god, that old guy. Oh yeah.
Oh god, I love going on YouTube and finding old clips of Howard, and I loved when Fred Gwynn, Herman Munster was doing an autograph signing, and they sent Stuttering John to ask stupid questions of him and stuff. And Howard's just like, yeah, listen, I know you're a great actor, Fred Gwynn. Everybody knows you're a great actor. Go to hell. You're gonna die. And guess what? There's gonna be a picture of Herman Munster on the front page.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
true. It's true. Did the Channel 9 show run out in Chicago? Was that
what's that? Which one?
Howard Stern's Channel 9 show. It was down here in New Jersey in WOR.
No, we didn't get.
You didn't get that?
Yeah, the E Channel show is the one we got. Yeah.
No! If you ever go on YouTube, look for Howard Stern's Channel 9 show. It was just a local.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a.
Did it replace Joe Franklin? Because in college, we did get Joe Franklin.
It was
down in Illinois State, which cracked me up.
What time was Joe Franklin on at 5 a.m? Because that's when they used to put him on here.
No, it was like
3 or 4 in the morning.
It was on WOR when WOR was a superstation.
Yeah.
And he's my guest. Joe Franklin. I love that guy.
And he would show the clip of Bing Crosby when Bing Crosby came on the show, like once, 20 years ago. But
1959 or something.
Every opening sequence, there was that Bing Crosby. Look, at one point but the Ramones would go on that show. That was weird. Joe Franklin was weird, man.
I remember when Jay Giles was on his show.
Yes, Jay Giles was on there.
Yes, you boys play music. What are your thoughts of Vic Damone? Do you like him? Do you not like him? Yes or no?
Was he
is it true that your angel is a Sutterfeld?
Was he a radio guy, John? Was he like an old?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know what his claim was.
Eddie Cantor, another inappropriate comedian for these days, because he used to do blackface back in the vaudeville days. Right. But when Eddie Cantor was winding down his career, Joe Franklin was his producer, and that's how Joe got on the radio and became a big deal and stuff. But man, he was like New York.
Yeah,
obviously just New York icon for local broadcasting for decades, and he was on Gilbert. I don't know if you ever heard that story, that episode, Skoke, because I know you're a big Gilbert listener. But if you go back to the archive and listen for an early episode, there's Joe Franklin's there.
Yeah. I have not heard that one.
And of course, tying to Joe Franklin to comic books, Drew Friedman and his brother did the Incredible Shrinking Joe Franklin and Heavy Metal magazine, and Joe Franklin sued them for defamation.
Oh, really? Wow. I didn't know that. Did they get was David Susskind on out there? He was like a local guy.
Oh yeah. Oh no, he was nationally syndicated. Oh yeah.
Oh, all right.
He's a big deal.
Yeah. I think his son is a producer nowadays. I see the name Susskind on some stuff.
I just read his biography, David Susskind, because he was a big force in TV beyond his talk show. Well, yeah, beyond his talk show, he produced movies for television and plays for television, 50s, 60s, 70s. Yeah, he was a big player, and he was the executive producer of Get Smart.
Really?
Was he?
David Susskind?
His production company, Talent Associates, made Get Smart, a few other shows. But yeah, like his biggest hit was Get Smart. Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
Did he produce The Nude Bomb?
Sadly, no. What a terrible movie.
Oh God.
Here's a good idea. Let's do a Get Smart movie. And poor Ed Platt was dead, the chief. But let's not have Barbara Feldon. That movie's The Nude Bomb.
Was Hermie the robot in it?
No, Jaime isn't in it.
Jaime.
Dick Gautier. I loved Jaime the robot. IMAX.
Wow. There was some weird stuff. Did you guys remember when John Ritter and Henry Winkler did a TV movie about Henry Winkler was an abusive ex-boyfriend? Do you remember that when he played a psycho?
No.
That was a good one. It was late 80s. John Ritter was this wimpy husband, and his wife's old boyfriend was Henry Winkler, and he was calling them up and torturing the wife.
What was the name of it? Do you remember?
I can't remember, but God.
Because I'm betting YouTube. I'm betting it's on YouTube because that is the greatest thing about YouTube.
Yeah.
All those movie of the weeks. Rob Burnett and I were just crying laughing at bad monster movies and sci-fi movies that were on 70s ABC movie of the weeks. And it's like devil worship movies and stuff. It's like, oh no, it's there. It's there. Absolutely. Or my favorite, it was a 2-part miniseries called Goliath Awaits.
Yes, I saw that one.
And it's about a World War II luxury liner that sinks.
Yeah.
But there's like a pocket of air, so many of the people on the ship are able to survive.
Yeah.
Emma Samms is in it, and Robert Forrester and Mark Harmon.
Don't they eventually run out of air?
Shelley Winters?
No, no, she wasn't in it.
No, that's a Poseidon Adventure.
It was very much like the Poseidon Adventure, but
Eddie Albert.
Christopher, yes, Eddie Albert's like the president or some high-ranking Washington guy, because there was a senator on the luxury liner that was a courier for FDR and was carrying information that could upset the entire balance of world politics. And even in the 80s, when the movie is set, it could still upset things. So they got to find the letter. And they just think they're going through the wreckage of the thing. And they find out there's a whole community of people still alive. And Christopher Lee is in charge of the boat people. No offense. And then Frank Gorshin was his main lieutenant. And he was affecting an Irish accent. But he was the guy that, like, if people wouldn't go with the society the way Christopher Lee wanted, he was the guy that would kill him, or his goons would kill him and stuff. Hilarious.
Again, how did they survive and not run out of air underwater?
Oh, come on. You're getting too far into this.
Like, there was some sort of pocket. There was some sort of pocket of air, and also they raised, like, they fish, and they'd raise, like, they had a hydroponic greenhouse.
Yeah. So they were getting, and Shelley Winters, she would fart out oxygen.
Yeah, she would fart out oxygen. Exactly.
A couple things. Eddie Albert, I saw him on an episode of Charlie's Angels where he was like a real. He was like a real lecherous guy trying to kill all the angels. It was one of Tanya Roberts' first episodes. Eddie Albert, and then
that's awesome.
And then Henry Winkler, he got along better with Hooch than he did with Turner, because he was the original director on Turner and Hooch, and
I did not know that.
Yeah, and he left after like a week or so because he and Tom Hanks did not get along after that.
Wow, and that's shocking because both guys are incredibly nice guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they were on episodes of Happy Days together because Tom Hanks was trying to fight the Fonz.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that episode.
Oh, yeah. He was in a bike club or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, he was Karate Guy. And he was trying to get revenge on Henry Winkler because he had made fun of him years ago, and he came back to kick his butt. But the Fonz was too cool. But then, originally Henry Winkler was hired,
and the Fonz tried to pick him up.
Yeah, but Henry Winkler was hired as the original director for Turner and Hooch, and then. To this day, they still don't talk because they're upset at each other.
The dog?
The dog. No, he got along with the dog, but he and Tom Hanks still don't talk. But they both talk to Ron Howard, so it's weird.
You ever see Killdozer, about the bulldozer that was killing people? That was fun.
It's the title.
We'll talk about. Yeah, we'll talk about that next time, though.
Okay.
Are we done? Are we wrapping?
Yeah, we didn't get to ghost stories, but I got to go to work.
It was like incredible tonight. We couldn't shut him up.
Yeah.
That was my goal. I wanted to say one thing tonight. It was, "I'll be right back," and then the crowd would stand up and cheer and clap.
That's why he's the best of the business.
Well, I love it. But,
I know it's a school night, so I understand if we gotta wrap up.
We do.
All right, very cool. Yeah, there's honestly a million like TV movies to watch on YouTube, going back to at least the 70s. In fact, I was watching Robert Culp real fast, and that's where I got this Outer Limits clip. But he was talking about I Spy and briefly mentioned that they did a reunion movie back in the mid-90s. And I'm like, I wonder if it's on there. And it is. It's on YouTube, free. The Return of the Men from U.N.C.L.E., also on there.
That's a great one with George Lazenby as James Bond.
Yes, he makes his little cameo as James Bond. Or
JB, because they couldn't say James Bond.
Exactly. Oh, Napoleon Solo's in trouble. Maybe I'll help him. Ooh,
that was a good one.
Yep.
Ooh. He said it like that.
You did. Woo. Yes.
His pinky out.
All right, there you go. Follow us when you see us.
Anybody got to plug anything? Buy Fox and Evil #2 on Comixology. Archimaniac's coming out in December. Scoot and I are working on other stuff. It'll be fun.
Awesome.
That's it. Nobody's got anything else? Awesome.
No, I'm doing horror trivia tomorrow night on Word Balloon with Tim Seeley, Mike Marisi, possibly Sarah Beatty, and maybe a couple others. But that's going to be a lot of fun. And then next week, Rom.
Did you say Sarah Beatty?
Yes.
It'd be funny if she was a big fan of Buck Rogers, because then she'd be Sarah Beatty.
Sarah Beatty, exactly. Rom V, who I always thought was Ram 5, the British writer.
The sequel.
But I've learned talking to Philip Kennedy Johnson last night that it's Rom V. I'll be talking to him on Monday, and Tom King on Tuesday.
There you go.
So
I'll be on at 5:30 in the morning tomorrow on Chaz and AJ, Connecticut's #1 morning radio show.
Are you doing a top 10 list?
You sound so thrilled about it.
Well, because it's 5:30 in the morning, I can't stand getting up that early. But yes, I'll be doing my top 10 captains. Call in.
Captains.
Whether they're Stubing or Kirk.
I forgot Captain Stubing.
Captain Stubing.
Put him in the list. 9.5. He's at least-
I had Captain Morgan on there. I had Captain Crunch, but they said that doesn't count. I go, hell, it does.
What do you mean he doesn't count? He was a captain. He was totally
He was a
Captain Stubing, he can fit into 9.5 at least. At least.
Captain Feathersword.
Who? No, I had Captain Planet.
Hilarious. Wow. You had Captain Planet and not Captain Stubing? What's wrong with you?
Captain Feathersword, the Wiggles thing. No one's going to get that.
Yeah.
Was it the Sea Dog? What was the name of Captain Crunch's ship?
Oh shit! I saw the SS something. I just had a little Captain Crunch guy.
It was the SS Crunch.
Yes, because I sent away for it in the back of my kid's cereal box 2 proof of purchases, and they sent me a little Captain Crunch guy. And I don't know
and your kids are like, who keeps cutting holes in the cereal boxes?
They did. Like,
why do they keep cutting holes in these?
Oh, look, he's got a Star Wars.
Oh, we love you.
Who's this? Anybody?
It's going in and out.
I know.
Jabba.
Yeah. Did anyone ever know why he talked like Curly from the Three Stooges?
Frank Welker did the voice. I don't know why he did.
It was an odd choice. So,
yes, it was.
Good.
Anyway. I got something to push. New York Comic Con and MCM Metaverse, October 8th through the 11th. Lots of cool happenings.
Call me this weekend. Mike, call me this weekend. I got a piece of artwork for you somewhere.
Oh, Francis brings up a good point. We're doing a St. Jude charity auction during the
very
weekend.
nice.
Yeah, we got a lot of great pieces. We got pieces from Jim Lee and Mike Mignola, and Franco's donating a piece, and a bunch
I did too.
And Scoot, that's right. Scoot did a really Scoot's trying to sucker me is what Scoot's trying to do, because he did a Superman piece. That's why. And he's like, oh, I know Mike's gonna buy this.
Here for St. Jude's, let me do a Danny Thomas spit take. Somebody say something that will shock me.
I have no pants on.
That's a Danny
Nothing
Thomas.
came out, but sure. Yeah.
And I would like to.
That was worse than the butt talk before, Johnny.
Exactly.
All I did was make that noise.
Hey, nice hammer.
I would like to briefly promote something as well. Halloween is right around the corner, and what better to get you in the mood for Halloween than a comic called Wrapped Up by Scoot McMahon over here and his cohort, Dave Scheidt. So
the smelly one,
out.
as he's known.
Yeah, I've read...
You're being too humble, Stoke. Halloween is right around the corner, and you should also go out and get a butt paste audiobook, right?
Oh, that's right. How to Cure Hemorrhoids the Natural Way.
That's right.
By S.H. Shepard, narrated by yours truly.
Yes, spoiler, cayenne pepper paste is involved in said treatment.
There it is.
That's correct.
Yes, there's Wrapped Up. Hold on. God bless you.
I read number 0 and number 1.
Look at that.
Excellent. Very good.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, there it is.
Fantastic.
All right, listen. Next time we're definitely going to get to ghost stories.
Yeah, come on, Halloween's coming up. We can't let Halloween slip by and then we won't do ghost stories. All right, follow us when you see us.
The thickness. See.
I like pink.
I like pink very much.
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 Artie's not here. I'll say okay. Bye.
Harold's chicken.
When are you gonna change that damn picture?